Cat cam jump scare. Cat cam jump scare. Look at the cat. Look at the cat. There's a cat. Oh, there's a cat. Look at this cat. Look at the cat. Oh, kitty cat. Hey, cat. It's a cat. We have a cat. There is a cat on screen right now, and if you're not looking at the cat right now, what are you doing? You tuned in for whatever...
I am looking.
He's looking. He spent 500 channel points to look. Very nice. He spent another 100 channel points to send a highlighted message. Truly the highlights of all time. We're getting stream highlights already. I decided beer today. So in front of the cat, we're gonna crack open a cold one, and that's what's gonna happen. I got my Aki Rosenthal beer opener, and we're just gonna do that.
Did you hear? It's the year of the horse. I do hope I get stable.
I should really stop drinking anything at all during these TTS redeems. And with that, let's play the video game. We're playing video game today. Really long stream today, probably. I'm gonna try to get through as much of the event as I can. And that's what we're gonna do. Because next week's schedule is gonna be wonky. I can't stream on Monday. Oh, sweet, we get stamina. We get mailing stamina. And you know what we blow all that on? Oh, that one. Targeted study. Bam. We are going to pre-prep for the gorilla. And hope we get something decent and usable. He's gonna blow? Yes. And I'm going... Right. Today, while I was at work today, I did two things. One of such things was scoring way too fucking high in Gunsmoke today. This is a new personal record. And, oh hey, May is right here. Check it out. May is in the game too. You get your stream cameo. But also, wait, did I not claim this today? Huh. I didn't. Very cool. It's Dame. But I'll explain the other things I did at work while we play the video game. But for now, we're just gonna dive right back in to QUASO! Part 1.5. The Rubidoux of Awakening. The Fire Emblem Awakening. The fourth step is when the final rebirth and unification is attained. Or is it? I think it is. Level 15? Bruh. Okay. It's whatever. The event's voiced so I can actually eat my food while it's going, and I get to narrate with my mouth full. The very next day. After stepping out of the limo that the Gerard group arranged for us, we find ourselves in front of a white office building. It's inside a science park on the outskirts of and it stands out by being the sole towering structure in the vast park area. Wait, this is a combat mission. I really hope we don't get ambushed and attacked after being invited to this place. They're hiding in the middle of they're hiding in plain sight. The best place to hide. Bruh. Cell phone, what are you doing? Yes, we are. Okay. We're preparing our article because that will help with our disguise. We need to. It's method acting at this point. We are journalists. God damn it. That's what I just said. See, at least cell phone thinks like I do. I look at the time. We set out early to avoid any complications, and so the time right now is 9:40 a.m. 20 minutes from the appointed interview time. Hey, we're early. Can you say that louder for people in the back? One thing that really bothers me is when people chronically show up late to planned arrangements that they should be there on time for, if it's like a big group game night or something. If you're late but you're not affecting anything by being late, Be as late as you fucking want. For example, like a birthday party or something. Be late to a birthday party. Live your best life. But when it comes to game night or an event night where the entire group is doing an activity together, and you miss out on that when it's critical that you should be there at the start to learn all the rules and stuff, like, bruh, at this point, I'm like, observe until the next round in which we'll teach you how to play, because if you're not gonna respect our time, why should we respect yours? I have the dolls. Grab the equipment, and we enter the office building.
こんにちは。お約束でいらっしゃいますか？オルフェルーネさんの独占インタビューです。
The staffer looks at the paper and grows his hand and carefully checks it into the system.
輝きの時代、人間1名、人形2名。
Yep.
問題ありません。どうぞ入りください。
Baseball, huh? Staffer opens the barrier gate at the entrance. Staffer? I hardly know.
こちらでしばらくお待ちください。すぐにご案内いたします。
はい。
I lead the dolls to the designated reception area, where we take a seat. Oh my god. Why don't you have a seat over there, Chris Hansen? Inside of the lab is a lot livelier than its exterior would imply. In addition to busy researchers, each floor has its own assistants which keep the lab running in an orderly manner.
思ったより大きいな、この研究所。
わお。リビューに来てから驚きの毎日です。
I think now that the game's been out for over a year, somebody needs to go back into every line of dialogue and record every single one of cell phones. Every single one of her exclamations needs to be put into a montage. There already exists a montage, but it's only of the first 4 chapters of the main story. We have so much more story, so much more cell phone noise.
こんな豪華な建物が実験室なんですね。
ああ、それにしても変だ。
It's good. Ooh, good. Squint's eyes.
入り口に検査ゲートがないし、職員も自由に出入りしている。
Now look at the floor plan in the reception area. It says that this building has 3 floors, with 4 rooms on each. According to the floor plan, the first floor contains the main lounge and various public facilities. The second floor has a lab area and sample storage, while the entire 3rd floor is an office space for orphaned Luna.
外から見ている2班によれば、屋上にさらに2つ、標識のない大きな施設があるそうよ。
大きな施設か。
Large structures. Gee, I'm glad no one else is here to hear that.
もしかして前に見たパラデウスの施設と似たようなものか。
Hiding things. God damn it, he motherfucker. See, this is how you get the lurkers out of hiding.
なら調べるしかないな。
Halfway through our observations of the building, a certain someone descends from the floor above.
輝きの時代の皆様、お待ちしておりました。
It's you. Of course you'd be here. God. Wait. If she's here, when is this in the story? Because where we left off in part 1, she was down in the sewers, chasing Defy. It's already been established that Team Defy has Helena. Bro, I finally sat down after getting home and you're already getting story spoiled, dude. I just spoiled part 1, which you probably have already completed. So basically, no, I'm not gonna spoil the whole story. It's fine, motherfucker. Welcome to the stream.
こんにちは、イグラさん。
Igloo! Igloo dips her head in a polite nod, but the wariness in her eyes does not diminish in the least. Clearly, my stunt with the orphaned Luna at the press conference last night has put her on guard. Again. On guard, Miss Rapier Lady! Rapier is such a word. Every time I say it, it's like, yes, it is the French pointy sword with the fancy hilt. But the way you have to say it, man. Before I begin, I'm not saying I finished the first part before you. Well, I'm finishing the first and a half part before you. I'm reminded of the Lion King 1.5. That movie, the Timon and Pumbaa spin-off movie. That was freaking hilarious. To the point where I actually forgot the entirety of what happens in the Lion King movies, except for the 1.5 spin-off film. Iglu's tone is polite and restrained, but the hint of warning in her voice is plainly evident. He's carrying a large box, and I wonder if it contains some sort of powerful weapon. Bruh, I forgot that one existed. Bruh, I remember owning it on VCR or VHS. I keep getting the two mixed up. The dolls notice it as well and carefully study every move Iglu makes, ready for battle at any moment. Why are you licking? No! Lumi's not even on the screen yet! You'll know Lumi when you see her. However, Iglu seems completely uninterested in the actions of my assistants. She glances at them briefly, then walks right up to me.
20分早めに来られたのですね。
Yes, we are early. Wait, hold on. We were out in the courtyard at 9:40. Our scheduled appointment is at 10. We go through the proceedings, enter the building, get checked in, and are greeted in the lobby here in less than 60 seconds. Damn! That's
はい
fast.
兵士にとってとても大事な取材ですので。
早すぎると迷惑になる可能性は考慮しなかったんですか？
Bruh, I feel called out. My plans are precise, but I allow. Fuck off, lady.
あなたの部下にはコンプライアンス研修が必要なようですね。
Bruh,
過度な時間前行動は人生の無駄とは思
I'll
う。
show you early, Pam script.
いいえ。
Iglu's gaze sweeps casually over Groza and settles on my face.
申し訳ありません。私の基準をそちらに当てはめてしまったようです。
Okay, listen, there's helicopter parenting, and then there's fucking, what is it, the Apache battle helicopter or whatever? That's what this is.
お嬢様のスケジュールは私が分刻みで管理しているゆえ。
Okay, there's helicopter parenting, and then there's fucking AC-130 gunship parenting. That's what this is.
少しの乱れも許されません。現在は朝食の時間です。インタビューは予定通り10時開始でよろしいですか？
ええ、もちろん。
The interview will be held at the time we agreed upon. Is this acceptable? Lady, why you asking? Iglu seems very pleased by my response. She gestures for me to follow her.
その前に私の方から研究所をご案内させていただ
I
き
made fun of you for wasting your time. Please, allow me to waste your time instead by taking you on a tour facility.
1階は受付とロビーになっております。通常お嬢様や他の研究員への取材はここで行われま
Why do I feel like she's leading us into a trap?
す。ですがあなたは重要な客人なので今回は特別に
Ooh, she invited us to her room. Specifically.
ご好意に感謝いたします。
Hmm.
正直これほどインタビューを楽しみにしているお嬢様は見たことがありません。
It's a trap! It's Molly.
どうしてあなたにこれほどの興味が湧いたのか。
私にもわかりません。ただ確かなのは、科学者としての彼女を見ている人間はほぼいなかったのでしょう。
He's got a point. Sucks to suck. I sense a hint of caution in her eyes. While her demeanor is flawless, her wariness of me has not faded in the least. Iglu brings us to the second floor in silence. Along the way, she tells us that this floor is the Hold up. She brings us to the second floor in silence, but along the way she tells us stuff. That's not very silent of you! She tells us that this floor is the core research area of this facility and features independent identity verification systems. Visitors who have received Orphan Luna's approval are allowed to enter. Biosafety labs within are performing the core research tasks for Project Eden! And they have been the subject of much interest from competitors ever since the project began.
ええ。そしてそういった不埒な輩を遠ざけるのが私の役目です。
Iglu gives me a meaningful look. I turn to look in the direction Iglu's pointing and feign innocence.
この先がお嬢様のオフィスになります。
Climb the broad staircase and arrive at the third floor. I check the time. It's 10 o'clock exactly. Oh no, daylight savings time! Iglu Igloo verifies our identities in front of a big glass door, which then slides open. Sound of something shattering comes from inside, followed by a panicked yell.
ああ、イグラ助けて。この機械全然言うこと聞かない。
I think Lumi is having a bit of trouble. You rush in and find Lumi standing in front of a complex-looking device. The interior of the room is a mess, and the floor is covered in glass shards and a toppled test tube rack. Uh-oh.
お嬢様
Igloo rushes forward and swiftly clears up the mess on the ground. Movements are fast and precise, although she's long used to such scenarios.
10分目を離しただけでまたご自分で操作されたのですか
Bruh.
最新の実験データをまとめようとしたのに、開発部の連中絶対また設定をいじったに違いないわ。
Orphan Luna turns to look at us, and her expression immediately turns to stone. Her long blonde hair is a mess, and her lab coat buttons are fastened incorrectly. She looks nothing like the noble, poised scientific genius described in her file. Bro, you already sold me on her! Lumi quickly stumbles a few steps back and almost trips on the shards on the ground. Fortunately, Igloo reacts swiftly and catches her.
あなたたち確か10時に来るはずじゃ。
It's 10!
イグラ、なんで教えてくれなかったの？
ただいま10時ちょうどでございます
嘘。
Lumi's eyes snap to the clock on the wall, and her expression goes from surprise to frustration, before quickly shifting to deliberate haughtiness.
まあいいわ。許してあげる。寛大な私に感謝しなさい。
Fucking hell! She quickly sorts out her clothing, straightens up, and tries to regain a sense of dignity, but her lab coat is still rumpled and misbuttoned.
お嬢様失礼します
Igloo produces a new lab coat and a kit bag from the big box she was carrying around, and begins giving orphaned Luna a high-speed makeover. We speedrunning this? Yo, Sharky does that in her lore, by the way. Lumi obediently stands still and lets Igloo fuss over her like a mother hen with her chick. That's how it works.
早く。お客さんが待ってるでしょ。
はいお嬢様
Igloo's movements are swift and practiced. In less than a minute, Lumi looks good as new.
バッチリね。
Once again, Igloo begins picking up the scattered lab equipment and documents. Every move she makes looks like it's been precisely calculated to not waste the slightest bit of time or energy. We have hit 100k in gun smoke. I'll drink to that. Good shit, man. Lumi clears her throat, then turns to me, her face a mask of deliberate pride and confidence.
ようこそ私の実験室へ。このオルフェルーネ
You
ジラ
know who
ー
you
ドが
are.
直々に出迎えたのだから光栄に思いなさい。
Yeah, it's Lumi! This is Lumi! Look at her! Look at her and tell me it's not Lumi!
お時間を作っていただきありがとうございます。
ちゃんと礼儀をわきまえてるようね。やっぱり俗物たちとは違うわ。
When I said Lemon Woman is in the game, I wasn't kidding. Or, Lumi looks me up and down. Her gaze is both curious and judgmental.
昨日から考え続けてたわ。どうして私の研究をそこまで理解してるの？普通の記者なんか最低限の用語すら覚えられないのよ。
We're no ordinary journalists. We're advanced journalists. Now show me her model A10 that she's been making on stream right now. Hey yo, Jamie, pull up Lumi's stream. Oh my god, she's live right now. I gotta tune in. Holy crap, what's she doing? Oh my god, you weren't kidding. Why am I streaming right now? Fuck me. This is fine. This is fine. You know what? I'm just gonna leave that on third monitor, and I'm gonna be really distracted. Gee, Bill, how come you get to have multiple Lumis on multiple monitors?
お嬢様こちらは輝きの時代誌の編集長です取材経験も知識量も波の記者を上回って当然です
そんなの分かってるわよ。
Igloo seems used to Lumi's little flare-ups. She simply nods and continues restoring order to the chaos on the floor. Chaos! We have to kill chaos!
で、何から始めようかしら。今までだと写真撮影とかもあったけど。
We're freestyling.
そうですね。 撮らせていただきます。
I give cell phone a look. She quickly moves in front of Lumi and raises her camera.
少々お待ちを。
On seeing cell phone point her camera shutter at Lumi, Igloo hurries over to touch up Lumi's looks once again. I'll properly fasten her lab coat and then discreetly steps out of frame. Why does... If she wasn't the most evil, passive-aggressive fucking villain, she would be... Oh my god, she's G36 but evil. Holy shit.
撮影した写真はすべてチェックさせていただきます。
God!
一番写りの良い写真のみ掲載を許可します。
もう大げさなんだから、どの角度から見ても完璧でしょ。
I'm pretty sure if we looked at you from the side, we would see a straight vertical line.
ここで提案なのですが、
Shoutouts if you get that one.
違う一面を見せてはいかがでしょうか。オルフェルーネさんはエリートとしての印象が定着しています。
Yeah, show us how you really are.
親近感を持たれやすいでしょう。
いいわね。イグラ、いいかしら。
ジラードグループのイメージにふさわしくありません。
Oh no, the shareholders! After seeing the dejected look on Lumi's face, Igloo quickly adds to her previous statement.
ですが、お嬢様がそこまでおっしゃるなら。
This is how you shoot down an A10 parent. Wait, AC-130 or A10? A10 flies lower to the ground and has that burp cannon in the front. Somebody beat Ace Combat 7 using nothing but the A10's main regular gun. And I find that to be hilarious. With their permission, Cell Phone does as I said and takes several pictures of Lumi. After the shoot, Igloo examines the contents of Cell Phone's camera as agreed. Lumi takes advantage of her distraction to suddenly approach me.
ねえねえ、今日ずいぶん早く着いたらしいじゃない？
Wait, how did you hear about that?
はい、こちらも誠意を見せねばと思いまして。
いい心がけね。こんなにインタビューが楽しみなのは久しぶりよ。
Interview this, grab.
コーヒー飲む？私が入れてあげてもいいわよ。
お嬢様。
大丈夫、一人でできるわ。子供扱いしないで。
We're the first people in her life to treat her like a fucking human being. Imagine how that must feel.
So I bought some oranges at
We're
the store
talking about
today and
lemons!
turns out one could talk.
Oh god.
I couldn't understand it though. I don't speak Mandarin.
That was supposed to be a VTuber joke. You could have transpositioned that into the first VTuber, which was the annoying orange. Which actually is. I heard, anecdotally, that the annoying orange is still making videos, in which, to that I say, good on them. Not my style of video, but the fact that they're still going after so long, I'll drink to that. Good joke, though. Good joke. It wasn't one of those ones that killed me on the spot. You're keeping things balanced, and I appreciate that.
では、いただきます。
いいの？
断る理由は
We've had the worst coffee in the world. I think you're fine.
今までの人はなんやかんや断ってたの
It
に。
can't be. Jesus fucking Christ, that's loud. Motherfucker, you already bought me again. Oh my god. This man got me the Rickroll dice. There is a Rickroll D20. And now, great. Now in several days' time, I'm going to have a Rickroll D20 that I am going to come up with the silliest ways and excuses of always using at every moment's notice. Not just the D20. It only showed one. Are you serious? Did you gift dump me again? Jesus Christ. I have to fucking open my email for this. Let's see, what? Oh shit! You got me the blue dice set! Now I actually have a proper dice set! Now I can dice! I am dicing. We're dicing. Thank you for the gifts, Core. You will get a premium unboxing experience as per usual if you're available, and if not, I can wait. And if you're unavailable until the stream, I'll fucking do it on stream. Now, unfortunately, there is a choking hazard. I might accidentally choke on the dice. So, but I won't, because I know better than to eat the dice. Now, the cheese dice and the dice fixation has now been started. Okay, motherfucker, you get me into airsoft, You fucking get me into dice. I'm not getting a fucking dice tower. I don't need one. If I did get a dice tower, I'd want one with padded interiors as to not damage. Oh yeah, the hot sauce. Fuck. Why do all my friends influence my life? You know what? We're in yap mode for a second. Let me take a quick drink. All my friends have influenced my life like crazy. Many, like, my pilot friend is responsible for me getting into actually racing in real life as opposed to just being a fan of the sport. He helped me get started learning Japanese. And he also, crap, what was the last one? The Japanese racing. He brought me to a convention for the first time, so now I'm all about conventions. And we got Core over here with the airsoft and the hot sauce and now dice. I've always liked dice. I always tell the story many times on stream. Like, my favorite thing to do during my free time when I was a math tutor, just waiting for someone to need help, the math center had these foam dice. Like, they had so many that I could just take 3 for myself and roll them, and if the jar ever emptied for whatever reason, I'd put them back for if someone needed to use them. But Ness needs candy dice? What do you mean candy dice? I looked at all the dice. There's pizza dice and there's cheese dice. What do you mean candy dice? I'm not much of a candy guy. I try to eat healthier, but not completely healthy. Basically what I'm trying to say. Okay, my pilot friend helped get me into airplanes again. I've always liked airplanes as I'm staring at Lumi put together a model A10. That's actually pretty awesome. I kind of want one now, but you know what? It's fine. I don't fucking need it. I don't fucking need it. You know, I want to tab out of it, but I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. I'm also live right now. Let's play the video game before I get too carried away. It's the beer. Or, Lumi seems surprised that I said yes. For some reason, it makes me panic just a little. This guy, dice are made of candy, sometimes actual rock candy in ice form. For the joke of this dice set is pissing me off as you proceed to eat them in front. I'm in. Yeah. At least, of all my hobbies and accomplishments and things that I've been doing, my making the music with my musical instruments, that one's entirely on me. That's an original idea of mine where I'm like, I want to make the music. And so I did.
失礼ですが、コーヒーメーカーを使用されたことは?
Oh no.
イグラからいろいろ教わったわ。細かいことはたまに忘れるけど。
Hold on. A coffee maker. Nowadays, coffee makers, the one I have in my house, you put the coffee filter in, and if there's one in there, you take it out, you put the paper filter in, you pour some coffee grounds in there, and you put that back, you open the top flap, pour water in, you close the top flap, then you press a button. There's not even 10 steps to that process. The one at work, you put the coffee pod in the pod receptacle, close it, press a button, and you have coffee. The trope of the super genius that can't do basic things is very unfortunately relatable. I can appreciate it when it's done for comedy like this, but bruh. Lumi confidently heads over to the drinks counter and Igloo's expression goes tense. However, she merely keeps her distance. It seems she wants to see if Lumi can actually pull this task off on her own.
何がいい？ちなみにラテが一番得意よ。
You know what? We'll take her word for it. Let's try it.
ではラテで。
Lumi nods and heads over to the fridge before taking out a carton of milk and dumping it into the cup. Okay.
Oh.
No, let her cook, let her cook.
オルフェルーネさん、そこはミルです。
Uh-oh.
ああ、また忘れた。これ豆入れるとこだったわよね。開発部の連中もっと
Isn't it clearly labeled?
できないの？
I doubt their R&D division built this coffee machine, did they?
今度こそ覚えたわ。
After carefully pondering the situation, Lumi finally manages to add the milk to the right compartment. Right after that, she engages the grinder. After some humming, coffee powder sprays out the nozzle.
これでどう？
ええ、大丈夫です。
次は。
Uh-oh. Just as Lumi's about to put the ground coffee under the tamper, the coffee machine suddenly starts up without any warning, spraying the ground coffee powder everywhere. Most of it ends up on Lumi's brand new lab coat. Okay. After seeing Lumi's predicament, Igloo sighs, but her eyes are filled with doting kindness. She quickly steps up to take the various implements from Lumi's hands.
お嬢様、やはり私が。
It's okay, Lumi. You'll get him next time. A look of defeat and shame crosses Lumi's face for a moment, but it soon transforms into one of stubborn pride. Oh no.
手が滑っただけよ。ちょっとミスっただけじゃない。
Okay, Wawa.
そうですね。すぐに新しい白衣をお持ちします。
Lumi seems to used to Igloo's pampering and silently accepts this arrangement. Igloo takes yet another lab coat out of her huge paw. Does she just... Is there just a giant chest full of lab coats? I can see that. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed that the box, which seems to have originally been intended to transport weapons, is instead filled with various articles of folded clothing. God damn it. It is indeed immediately obvious that they were all prepared for Lumi. I really need to stop predicting the story as it happens. This is fine. Once again, Igloo changes out of Lumi's lab coat with practiced ease before quickly brewing a latte and handing it to me. So, whenever I end up predicting the story, I'm never mad. Ever. I never find it annoying. I always find it humorous. And what helped me have that mindset, I remember watching movies as a kid, and my dad would predict the movie as it happens, but his reaction was different. He would be very arrogant about it. And I'm all like, wow, okay, fine. I didn't want to enjoy the movie either, I guess. And the ending to the song Russian Roulette by Porter Robinson, one of the songs I played in my last flute stream, goes on about how, yeah, it may be cliche, but cliches are beautiful because they are human, and humankind is beautiful, or some shit like that. I don't resonate with that, but I understand it. Like, it just goes to show how not out of touch you are with the writing style that the story you are enjoying is conveying. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I really like this.
どうぞ。お嬢様がわざわざご用意されたコーヒーです。
入れたのイグラでしょ。
お嬢様の指示で入れたのですから。実質お嬢様が入れたも同然。
とにかく飲んでみて。
いただきます。
Alright, everybody take a sip! Tastes like beer. Because I'm drinking beer. I take the coffee and sip from the cup. Really good.
おいしい。
Oh, we didn't do the second part? That's cool.
当たり前でしょ。私は一番いいものしか出さないんだから。
Lumi smiled smugly, as though she was the one who had made the coffee herself. Igloo shakes her head gently, but her eyes are filled with tenderness.
さあ、本題に入りましょう。今日はどんな感じ？
And then it's already time to go.
お嬢様の作業環境の撮影後、楽園計画の方向性についてお答えいただく予定です。
Always with the red text.
それって今までと同じじゃない。そういうの飽きた。研究のことを知るなら、やっぱり実験施設を見学した方が早い。
Oh, she wants to give us the deep tour.
実験施設。しかし、この方々に権限は。
Lumi ignores Igloo's hesitation and instead turns to look at me.
今まで外部の人間を通したことなかったけど、興味ある？
Yeah, let's go.
もちろんです。今まで公開されなかった施設を切り口に研究所の特集を組めば記事の信頼性も高まりますし、 注目も集まることでしょう。
We're journalists! It's all for the article!
見学させていただけるのなら、すべてのプラットフォームで大々的に取り扱う予定です。
I never would have expected Lumi to actively suggest that we visit one of her research bases. I decided to accept the offer quickly before anyone can retract it. Looks like today's interview is going far more smoothly than expected.
お嬢様、施設の見学は予定にありません。勝手なことをすれば、理事会やオレク様への弁明が。
Overruled!
お父様には私から言っておくわ。この研究所の責任者は私よ。
Overruled! Iglu's face is as a professional and calm as ever, but I can see the uneasiness in her eyes. However, in the face of Lumi's determined attitude, all she can do is nod.
かしこまりました。
ほら、ついてきなさい。科学がもたらす奇跡を見せてあげるわ。
Wait, really quick before we proceed? This line here,
かしこまりました。
the negative form is one you never hear. Thanks, Dogen. Like, if you hear someone kashiku arimasen, like, bruh, what? One biometric security door after another opens up before Lumi and allows us to enter the research base unimpeded. Iglu follows closely behind Lumi. Her movements are as elegant and flowing as ever, but her eyes sweep the surroundings, paying particular attention to us visitors. Several rounds of tiresome identity verification procedures, we arrive at the roof mentioned by Group 2 before. However, I don't see anything sinister up here. In fact, a verdant expanse of greenery spreads before me. Flourishing vegetation looks especially vigorous under the sunlight. Little rainbow arcs through the spray of the irrigation sprinklers. Man, I remember going to the grocery store when I was a kid, and the produce sprinklers, they'd go off and I'd see the rainbows, and my mom, I'd be like, Mom, look, there's rainbows, and she wouldn't care, so I'd try to jump up and grab them, and she'd yell at me for jumping around all the vegetables in the store. Fucking, I didn't think I had any childhood memories left, but here we are. Lumi stands to the side, looking up at the plants before her with a gaze akin to that of a proud parent.
見て、これが楽園計画のゆりかごよ。今リビウの実験畑を埋め尽くしてる植物の種は全部ここで生まれたの。
感慨深いですね。
それが植物の面白さよ。でも普通の人間はおろか、学会の年寄りですらその辺全然分かっていない。
I'm questioning why botany is just romantic in general. Like, yes, flowers are pretty, and lots of people like flowers, but I don't get why. The cultural significance of flowers and romance, how it started and its origins are completely lost on me. But hey, flowers are pretty. Maybe that's it. Flowers are pretty, therefore. Lumi cocks her head smugly and gestures to one particular plant.
見えた？
何を？
ロマンよ。
Huh? No, we're not romancing the scientist. You're not even a T-doll. Get out of here. Sorry, lady, but I'm going to have to reject your advances. Clueless, I inspect the plant she's pointing at. Lumi smiles at me, an excited gleam in her eye.
細胞シグナル伝達を非線形上微分方程
Oh,
式で表
she's
した。
speaking her language!
エピゲノムを3次元に展開して準安定状態の分子が並んだ時、光合成で量子がコヒ
She's giving us the Spurgramble! Yes! This counts as things getting really serious between us. Holy crap.
異なる種が時間の経過とともにハウスドルフ次元で非線形システム的な変化が見られた時、こういった一つ一つの瞬間にロマンを感じるのよ。
Bruh! She's almost literally me, for real, for real. Smile and nod, dude. Iglu's watching from the side, a proud smile on her face, like a parent watching her child showing off her talents.
言いたいことわかるかしら？
Yes. Wait, that was a no. I shake my head.
私にはあなたほどの知見も視野もありません。きっと 私には見えないものが見えるのでしょう。
Honest. I dig it.
ですが、私にも科学者の友人がいます。科学のもたらす恩恵が人類の輝かしい未来を切り開いていることを
Sidestep and deliver. Very cool.
私の言ってること理解不能で無価値だと思わないの？
それを大衆に分かりやすく伝えるのが我々の役目です。科学者を相手にするとつい小難しい話に目が行きがちですが、本当に見るべきはその科学者の夢の
So when Kruger said establish a relationship with her, I think we took that a little too literally.
科学は夢を叶える手段でしかない。そしてその夢こそが評価の基準となるべきです。あなたは植物そのものだけでなく、植物がこの世界を変える可能性にロマンを感じているのでしょう。
ありがとう。やっと私を分かってくれる人が現れた。
Bruh. Who would have thought treating her like a fucking human being actually worked?
正直な感想を述べたまでです。
この研究を始めてから便乗しようとする人間が後を絶たなかった。兵器開発に利用するもの、果ては家族まで私を客寄せパンダとしか扱わなかった。グループやお父様の力にはなりたい。でもあの人たちの目には利益しか映っていない。私の夢なんか。
Welcome to the real world. There is an undercurrent of fragility in Lumi's voice, but she instantly recovers her former pride.
でももういいわ。理解者がいなくても私はここまで来れた。
Mood. This is me. Lumi leads me to an isolation chamber. Then she pushes the button inside it, which seems to activate some kind of device. However, there's no visible change outside the chamber after the activation.
今のは
コーラップス粒子を放出して室内の放射線量を上げたわ。
Oh, we're radiating.
思ったより薄い反応ね。今までの人間だったらさっきの話を聞いた瞬間に逃げ出すのに。
鈍感な人間ですので。
そう？変な人。
The amount of girls that have said this exact phrase to me is pretty much every girl I've ever talked to.
でも安心しなさい。ここは安全よ。この私がそんな自殺行為するわけないでしょ。
I think you throw yourself into radiation. I mean, with the coffee incident, I wouldn't put it past you. The instrument displays inside the isolation chamber indicate that the equipment is indeed functioning normally under Lumi's operation.
お嬢様、実験を長引かせるとこの後の予定に響きます。
No, we're gonna party in the lab all day.
もう心配しなくてもちゃんと時間を見てるわ。
Igloo does not press the issue. Instead, she stands silently on the sidelines, remaining vigilant and ready to respond to any potentially dangerous situations.
ほら。
A look at the plants on the test plot. Being exposed to the radioactive particles, their leaves slowly open, and soft buds emerge at the end of their stems. It's followed by the buds blooming one after another, revealing flowers that look like they came out of some fever dream. The colors of the petals are like the sprinkler rainbows, changing with the angle of observation. Instrument displays indicate that the particle density is falling as the flowers bloom. Flowers fully blossom. Lumi presses another button. Looks like it's connected to some kind of energy collection device. The moment Lumi presses the button, a layer of lights fill the greenhouse, following which a holographic display comes to life. Its contents constantly shift, showing off the development process of a large future city. The scene goes from a set of radiated ruins to a series of high-rise buildings skyrocketing from the ground. Dense green forests spreading between the buildings to cover the entire globe. Large, of all the story that has happened so far, that is what you fixate on? Understandable, have a great day.
見た？これが楽園計画の導く未来よ。今見たホログラムデモンストレーションで消費した
Ooh, that's a lot of power.
1メガワット時。すべて植物が放射線を吸収したことによって生まれたエネルギーよ。 私が作った品種は地中の装置を介して直接発電施設とつながってるわ。
But what if we connected them in sequence? We could split the operation. Engineering humor, don't mind me.
運用規模によって畑の面積を調整すれば、その地域のコーラップス粒子を電気に変えられるってわけ。楽園計画が順調に進めば、リビウ周辺の実験畑だけでも毎日5000メガワット時の電力が賄えるわ。
We're approaching gigawatts of power.
それがどういうことかわかるわよね。
We're gonna power the city.
リビウ全体の消費電力に等しい。
そう、私の研究はエネルギー分野に革命を起こすの。
If she knew what else her research was being used for, I wonder how she'd react. But it's fine. At least this part seems good.
成功した暁には私を嘲笑った年寄りたちがこぞってひれ伏すに違いないわ。
Oh, it's a high guard situation. As I listen to Lumi's explanation, I'm reminded of Persica's remolding pattern technology. But if this is just a recreation of the technology Persica was using, the so-called Project Eden doesn't seem particularly harmful. That really all? No. Is everything she told me today really the truth? Lumi doesn't seem to have realized my suspicions and continues speaking.
今公表されているのは第一段階、すなわち植物による放射線除去。
Plant-based radiation cleansing. Based?
でもいずれは新しい生態系を築いて
Finally, something the vegans will support.
世界中の環境改善も夢じゃない。汚染エリアのコーラップス粒子濃度は大幅に低下し、グリーンエリアとホワイトエリアのエネルギーコストも削減されるわ。
Bruh, but what about the yellow zones? Can we purify the yellow zones with this?
私がロレンを本当の楽園
I don't think that's how it works.
見くびった人も全員見返して、そしてフランクフルトに戻っ
Oh. Lumi seems to realize that she's made a slip of the tongue and falls silent.
そういえば、あなたはフランクフルト事件の生き残りらしいですね。
ええ、留学先だったわ。そこであの事件に
Flashback?
死ぬかと思った。でも幸運にも生き延びた。
For better or for worse, she survived.
そんな辛い経験をされているのに、なぜ戻ろうと思うのですか？
あの時見たのよ。
お嬢様。
Just as Igloo's about to stop Lumi from speaking, her communicator suddenly rings. She frowns and glances down at it, and in the end she turns away to take the call.
かしこまりました。
どうしたの？
申し訳ございません。緊急な用事です。
And this is where she goes after Defy?
またグループで何かあったの？いっつも肝心な時に。イグラは私の助手なのに。
シルロビグ様直々のご連絡で
What?
急を要すると。
シルロビグ。
Lumi's expression softens a little when she hears that name.
じゃあ仕方ないわね。よろしく伝えといて。
はい。他の助手に本日の予定を伝えましたので、残りは彼女に。私がいないからといって許可なく実験を行ったり、部外者を奥のエリアへ案内しないでください。
But I wanted to go to the research area!
わかったわよ。子供じゃないんだから。
何かあればすぐ私にお知らせください。何があってもすぐに駆けつけます。
AC-130! Hold on.
わかったわよ。
This
子
line.
供じゃないんだから。
Based on what little I know of Japanese sentence structure as well as their culture, generally they put the second sentence in front of the first. This is more phrased as you'd say it in English, putting the reason after the statement rather than the reason before the statement. The way that I would normally see it is the not a kid statement. No, dakara wakaru yo. I'm not a kid, I understand. Or something like that. But it's fine. Japanese is hard. There's a clear worry in Igloo's voice, and the concern in her eyes is apparent as she looks up at Lumi.
わかったわかった。早く行って。
Igloo turns to look at me, and that fleeting gentleness is gone.
編集長、本日はありがとうございました。引き続き部をわきまえた行動をお心がけください。
Bruh.
お嬢様の身に何か起きればすぐ私の方に連絡が。
Fucking hell.
くれぐれもお忘れなく。
Saying so, Igloo bows, then turns and strides away. Ain't nothing gonna break my stride!
やっと行った。イグラにはお世話になりっぱなしだけど、時々本当にうるさいのよね。
ところでチルロビグさんは何者ですか？
ああ、グループの科学者兼私の友達よ。
Lumi shrugs and doesn't linger on the topic.
さて、イグラもいないし、好きなだけ喋りましょう。
Oh! Sweet! We get to open her up! Ask her 3 sizes! Lumi visibly relaxes. She even pumps her fists in excitement, like a child who's finally escaped her guardian. After turning off the equipment, Lumi and I exit the lab. Wait, what did we talk about?
楽しすぎて一瞬だったわ。
私も同じです。オルフェルーネさんのスケジュールに影響がなければいいのですが。
いいのいいの、どうせいつものつまらない行事なんだから。あ、そうだ、記事が公開されたら SNS の反応を集めて送ってくれる？
Little does she know, we're not publishing anything.
イグラに SNS を使うなって言われてるから、アカウント持ってない。
We will conduct an internal survey and pose it as what you want.
もちろん。
I suddenly feel a little guilty as I meet Lumi's sincere gaze. While this interview is an important part of the fact-finding process, the fact remains that I'm still lying to her. All I can do now is try to learn the truth ASAP, find Helena, and completely dismantle Paradius' scheme. Right. All this kind interaction has almost made me forget that we're not actually journalists. Speaking of Paradius, based on my conversation with Lumi today, she doesn't seem to know anything about Paradius, and her understanding of collapse epitheliums remains at an application level. Her answers to my questions today also seem sincere enough. Based on her performance today, she doesn't strike me as someone who's given to putting on false pretenses. If she's really telling the truth, then is Paradius using her research and controlling events and live from the shadows? I find myself at a loss over whether I should believe what she just said.
オルフェルーネさん、最後に一つお伺いしても。
ええ、いいわ。
この研究で壁に当たったことはありますか？
壁？
前提としてあなたの能力を疑っているわけではありません。ただあなたのような若い科学者がたった一人でこれほどの実験を行っているとは。
Lumi's expression suddenly turns complex. She bites her lip and looks like she's considering how to answer.
答えたら記事に書くの？
It depends on the answer.
そうしてほしいですか？
Lumi hesitates. That fleeting weakness from before appears again, but it vanishes instantly.
確かに他の人間から技術援助を受けたことはあるわ。親友のチルロビグ、グループの科学者、それから開発部のバカたち。
R&D clowns? Okay.
けれど、全体の構想、仮説、理論モデルの提唱から研究所の設立まで、全部私一人の力よ。
Huh.
信じてくれないかもしれないけど、私、
Lumi pauses again, then takes a deep breath before continuing.
真理を見たわ。
Ah! Wait, are you actually evil?
真理？
ええ。あの時、目の前に真理が広がって、今私が理解しているすべてが、あの時見たものなの。
Wait. She was at Frankfurt, she got super irradiated and almost died, but she's alive. If she saw the truth now, did they like do that crazy ritual seance thing? And that's why she's alive? So she's been Paradius this whole time? Probably, maybe? I need a fucking drink.
やっぱり変よね。今のオフレコでお願いね。
Don't bonk that! What the fuck?
わかりました。
Well, I don't quite understand what she's trying to say. I nod obediently, then begin packing up and prepare to leave. However, Lumi picks up this moment to speak again.
あのさ、昨日の記者会見の後、お父様が電話をくれたわ。普段はイグラに伝言を預けてばっかなのに。
すみません。もしかして私の件で。
違う。今はロレン政府の対応に追われて、私にかまけてる時間はない。じゃなきゃとっくに何か理由をでっち上げて、あなたを逮捕してたよ。
Arrested for asking questions at an interview? Wow.
脅かすつもりはないの。それだけリスクがあったのに、あの場に来てくれたことを感謝しているの。あなたと話して、初めて誰かに理解される気持ちをしたわ。
She's like half our age. What the
グル
fuck?
ープが当てたスポットライトの中で生きて、若き天才科学者を演じてきた。ジラードグループの信用が失われた時の看板になるのが私に与えられた役目。もちろん一族の人間として当然の責任よ。お父様は全てを与えてくれた。研究所だってグループが出資したんだから。でもたまに思うのよ。ジラード家の令嬢じゃなくて普通の人として生まれて普通の科学者になった方が幸せなんじゃないかって。あの記者会見で
Nepo baby sucks, doesn't
あなたは異
it?
質な存在だった。ああいう風に近づいてくるのは大抵企業スパイとかだからでも直感であなたは信頼できると思った。
Well, your instincts are right. I am a spy.
その私たちどこかで会ったかしら。
Ain't no way we met in Frankfurt. Ain't no fucking way.
ないと思います。
そう。じゃあ私の勘違いね。とにかく今日のことちゃんと
That is the second foreshadowing of us thinking we've met her before. Oh no.
はい。必ずいい記事にします。みんなに本当のあなたの姿を届けます。
And before we write a smear campaign.
ありがとう。でも私は同情なんかいらない。みんなに私の研究の価値を知ってもらいたいだけだから、そこは勘違
She
いしないで
sounds
ね。
like Sawako? Bro, she's like 19. Before leaving, I bid Lumi farewell. She waves and watches me leave. While I still find it hard to trust anyone at the moment, I'm starting to believe that Lumi is truly unaware of previous plans. The next task is to contact Leva and the others, share what I know with Namfa, and let them conduct a more in-depth investigation. As for that little lady, I can only hope her wish comes true. The stand-in assistant escorts us outside the lab and then leaves. The Gerard group vehicle that's here to pick us up is waiting outside the park area.
指揮官、次の指示は？
Something about that Lady Shilveg from Lumi and Igloo mentioned before bothers me. From what Lumi said about her, she sounds like a pretty important figure, and she's involved with Project Eden to some extent. Most importantly, I don't think just anyone could get Igloo away from Lumi's side, especially since I, whom Igloo clearly didn't trust, would be with Lumi. Assuming Lumi really is innocent, could this Shilveg be the one pulling the strings? What if she's been the one manipulating Lumi from behind the scenes this whole time? In that case, Lumi's complete innocence would make sense, right? If so, then the place that Igloo is going now seems very suspicious. I can't just let a good chance like this slip away from me.
2班にイグラの追跡をしてもらえないか。
ええ、もうそうしてるわ。
Dispatch!
よし。ならこちらは。
待って。2班から報告。武装勢力がここに接近中よ。
Wait, we have to fight?
No.
Boom! Shit. Before I can take another step, a massive explosion comes from the lab behind us. A grenade caves in part of the research building, and thick black smoke billows up from behind the structure. I can see the silhouettes of many people through the building's windows. The sounds of an intense gunfight can be heard from within.
クルーガーさんの言った通りか。狙いは
We gotta save the lady!
2班は攻撃準備。
了解。
Let's save the scientist lady. Let's fucking go. I appreciate how the background CG matches the map. That normally never happens. Look out! They got some nasty firepower. The enemy squad is well prepared. Engage with caution. Fire Emblem engage? Okay. Well, who's with us? Let's... Okay, we need to stick the story. We know that Grows is in. We know Cell Phone is in. I'm in. Let's go ahead and get 2K's Alva. And last but certainly not least, who can we bring along just for fun? I'm gonna do a pro gamer move. She's going to die, but this is just to get that notification to go the fuck away. In the dispatch room. If I just deploy her for one map. She'll die. There's no question about that. But it doesn't matter, because we just need to take care of these weak-ass enemies, and our squad here is more than capable. Let's go ahead and get going. So, huh? Why did the camera pan over here? What's this thing? A mecha hound? Alright, one of the levels apparently has a hidden thing where if we interact with it, we get a free standard pull. Which... There's these little drones here in the dice just having dinner over here. What the heck? They're not clickable. They're just part of the background. I love the little details like that. Let's turn the animations on. And let me tell you about my workday today. So today was... Oh. Glitchy run animation, I guess. Today was a pretty easy day, honestly. I spent... Okay, part of my workday, I learned about a dice game featured in Cult of the Lamb called... Well, they call it Knucklebones. Upon further research, apparently it is an original dice game from Cult of the Lamb that is very playable in real life. It requires 18 D6. So I might just get a big batch of really cheap D6 and to play it. But here's the thing. I saw it, how to play and everything, and I'm like, wait a minute. Could I just do this in Excel? So I opened up Excel and I programmed the entire game in Excel using a random number generator that spits out a number 1 through 6 per dice roll, 2 9x9 grids, and the real fun part was coming up with all the formulas to automatically score everything. So, the trickiest part is determining doubles and triples. It's one thing to simply add up rows. It's another thing to have a formula detect if 2 numbers in a row are the same, and if so, take twice the sum of that number. Or if all 3 numbers are the same, then take 3 times the sum of all 3 numbers. So what I ended up doing, and I posted all this in my Discord, by the way, is I had essentially I had a formula determine how many unique numbers were in each row. And I would use that output to determine the usage of one of 3 formulas. I had a formula for if all 3 numbers were unique, i.e. no identical duplicates. In such a case, then that's easy street. You just take the sum of the 3 values. I had another formula where if all 3 numbers were the same, 1 in 216 chance, by the way, because of the way I set it up, where in that case, it would take 3 times the sum of all 3, which is simple. However, for doubles, what I would need to do is make a formula that would detect which 2 values were equal, take twice the sum of that value, then add the 3rd remaining value. And what I ended up doing was the programming sin of nesting an if statement within an if statement within an if statement within an if statement to capture all three permutations of the double value. Not stupid if it works. And then at the end, I just took the sum of all the possible values, and that is your final score. I then proceeded to spend like half the workday playing the game with myself on Excel, and it looked like I was working, when in reality, I was fucking off. Anyway, this is Bathilda. This particular wrench, I forgot what it's called. It's like an adjustable wrench here. If there's any mechanics in chat, they can tell me. But one time, when I had to work on my bike, I think, and I needed an 11 millimeter wrench. And my parents are all like, just come borrow your dad's toolkit. And I'm all like, okay. I go over to his house, I grab the toolkit, I bring it back home, and I open it, and every tool is perfectly in its place, perfectly organized. Except for the 11 millimeter wrench, which is missing. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? The one time I do any mechanical thing, and the thing that happens to every mechanic ever happens to me. This is the most baseball moment of my life. Anyway, it's time for a Bezos break. Thanks for your patience. When we get back, we're gonna drink more beer and do more of the story. I think what I'm gonna do is do as much of the story today as I can, then continue tomorrow morning and try to finish out as much of the story as I can tomorrow. Failing that, depending on how much, I might just save the rest of the story for next Thursday. I say that because this opens next Thursday, I think. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Well, I'm gonna play it by ear this weekend. I can't stream on Monday. I might have a busy weekend. I really do need my rest, though. I've been burning myself out like crazy. Anyway, we're gonna take a Bezos break. In 3 minutes, we will be back. And don't watch the ads. Don't watch the ads. Please don't watch the ads. don't forget, this is a gambling game. And we still get to go gambling on this enhanced standard banner to get V6QJ. If you're gonna go gambling too, now's the time. Because it is entirely likely that we may be getting QJ this run. It's not a super jackpot, but a win is a win, and we take those. So, with plenty of further ado, if you believe, let's go gambling in sync with me. We didn't get it. It's fine. I hope you got it though, if you decided to go with me. Here we go. Can we get multiple Doritos? No. Maybe. Aw, oh, dang it. Aw, oh, dang it. Aw, oh, dang it. Aw, oh, dang it. Oh, Doritos! That's what I'm talking about. We get Doritos. Because that's how much you're worth in Doritos. A bag of Doritos in 2026, which is like 3 times the cost of a bag of Doritos in 1996, with 1/3 of the amount of chips inside the bag. That's how it works. Go fucking Doritos. Oh my god! Oh, baby, a triple! Oh yeah! That's a lot of Doritos. Let's fucking go. We take those. That's pretty damn good. All right. It's Dorito Day. I'm so happy about the Doritos because this is standard banner, like enhanced standard banner even. So we are essentially converting standard tickets into premium tickets. That's what the Doritos do. Oh yeah, we're eating good tonight. Let's continue the story. We really don't have much else to do other than this mode, which I'll set aside an entire stream to do. This mode can get funky. Hey, it's AA22. AA12 got an upgrade. Carrion Crow. Carrion, my wayward son. The crow that pecks at putrefaction is content to sink further into the abyss. G11? That's fine. I love this sock in the background. Heavy metal door seals shut, edging out the clamor of the outside world. Inside the lab, only the sounds are the low humming made by various precision instruments echoing in the spacious interior. The faint scent of disinfectant in the air, blended with the unique static odor produced by electronic equipment. The atmosphere here is oppressive and choking. In the center of the room is a specially made chair. It has a high back, and its metal armrests have manacles built into them. The chair is covered in various complicated buttons and indicator lights. The surface is made of some kind of black material that looks cold and hard. Alva had been stripped of all her equipment and bound to the chair. Okay, so Alva was captured. Shit, where's Voimastina? That's not good. Her head is lowered and her eyes are dark. She's currently shut down. Cables of various thick nesses are plugged into her body and are connected to the devices surrounding her. Huge monitor displays constantly shifting complex data in waveform. Several lab-coded marionette doll researchers are working around Alva. They have received extensive and sophisticated biosynthetic external customization, so their facial expressions look exceedingly lifelike. However, the way their fingers fly across their keyboards exude an inhumanity that is difficult to hide. Me? From time to time, they will glance up at the data on the big screen and frown, as though they've encountered some problem. One researcher carefully adjusts the cables coming from Alva, ensuring there's a good connection with the equipment. Another researcher carefully studies the data on the screen, instantly taking notes. And another researcher is holding a tablet PC, and a closer inspection reveals that they're actually playing a game. Me? Like, suddenly, the sound of a heavy metal door opening shatters the lab's silence. Bruh, what'd she say? Nothing. She said nothing. Igloo's stride is even, like a society gentleman entering a grand theater. Her gaze coldly sweeps the room and instantly locks onto the researcher who's playing solitaire in the corner. Lips curl with an almost undetectable disgust, but she maintains her composure.
ダミー人形たちの服装と装飾、本当に必要ですか？
この方が綺麗じゃん。
You're supposed to be dead. You're supposed to be dead. We saw you melt. Excuse me. Excuse me. We get more scientist lady. Yeah, but she's evil. In response to Igloo's question, a figure slowly rose out of the shadows on a swivel chair. He has a cup of hot coffee in one hand, which he's stirring with a spoon in the other. Murky coffee has so much sugar in it that it's practically solid. Wawa coffee? Her smile's bright and sinister. Her eyes are wide, but there is a mania in them.
シルロビグ様
Oh no. I need a fucking drink. Igloo's slightly wrinkled brow and the revulsion in her eyes indicates her true feelings about the researcher.
私をお嬢様から引き剥がしただけの理由終わりなのでしょうね
まあまあそんな怖い顔しないでよ
She tilts her head back and finishes the coffee in one gulp, then spits it all back out. You don't need to sell it to me. I get it. You're poking at my other weaknesses. Listen, my main primary weakness is the library girl, but the crazy scientist lady is a pretty good second. Didn't you, my brother in Christ, you were the one who made it.
何の茶番ですか
私の尊敬してる人の生活スタイルを真似てるんだけどちょっと砂糖入れすぎたわ
Oh, Persica.
そこのここ掃除して
Bruh! A marionette doll steps in from the sidelines and cleans up the floor. She chuckles and puts the sediment-filled mug back on her table, then kicks off the ground to set her spinning chair revolving until she gets dizzy. Yo, she's mean!
ごっこ遊びも結構ですが用事がないようでしたらここで失礼させていただきます
Aesthetic though.
お嬢様は大事な客人の対応中です一人にさせたくありません
Despite Igloo's polite tone, the annoyance in her eyes is growing. She walks slowly to the center of the lab. Her gaze locks on the bound Alva like she's inspecting an exquisite but flawed work of art.
相変わらず堅物なんだからあんたのその顔うちの猫が怒った時とそっくりだよ
She has a cat! She has a cat! She can't be evil, she has a cat! She laughs in a melodramatic way and even jumps out of her chair, hopping and skipping over to Igloo and making a kitty's got claws gesture at Igloo. Oh, that's cute. That is cute.
そちらこそ相変わらずのユーモアセンスをお持ちで
お嬢様お嬢様いっつもそれだね焼いちゃうなまあ簡単に言うとこの子へのハッキングは失敗もう目も当てられないくらい大失敗
Wait, why did you call her over then? Tone suddenly switches to a theatrical depression. She collapses into her chair, face falling into a mask of exaggerated despair as she tilts her head back to gaze at the ceiling.
メンタルは完全にロックされてて107通りくらいの方法を試したんだけど全部ダメだった
He shut off.
これが噂に聞くパンドラコードってやつ10年経っても解読されてないとかこれだから天才は嫌いなんだよねとにかく直接接続によるハッキングは不可能
We wasted her time to tell her it was a failure.
そんな集体をわざわざ晒すために私を呼んだのですか
だってこうなったら第三世代人形様の力を借りるしかないじゃんジラードグループにあんた以上に電子戦に強い人形はいないでしょ
あなたを助ける義理は
そりゃあ
Igloo stares coldly at whose response with an ingratiating and annoying smile as she rubs her hands together.
お嬢様の楽園計画がうまくいくために決まってる
There's your magic word. Lumi.
反逆があの箱を奪ったということは実験に使える情報が詰まってるからかもしれないでしょならきっと役に立つってああやっぱりそれだけじゃ納得しない
Igloo slightly adjusts her cuffs with her slender fingers. Her movements are simple, but there's a chilling pressure in them.
彼女を起こしてください
ほう本当にじゃあ起こしちゃうよ
I really, really, really shouldn't like her. However, Shula's eyes light up as she suddenly cozies up to Igloo. A look of something resembling surprise on her face.
何をお考えになられているかは知りませんが、私には関係のないことです。
ひどいな。私の行動は全部オルフェルーネのためを思ってのことなのに。ま、私にもメリットがあるのは確かだけど。
Igloo does not answer her. She only unreels a cable from her own access port.
気をつけてね。防壁の突破に失敗したら、この子自壊しちゃうかもしれないから。そうなったらお手上げだよ。
操作を始めてください。
Igloo's tone does not change, but there is an undeniable authority in her words.
時間は等しく平等です。
オレクのじじ、あんたの動きに気づいちゃったんだ。思ったより頭いいじゃん。もしあんたのやろうとしてることに気づいたら。
The blackest of males! And by that I mean blackmail. The extreme kind. It's still Black History Month, it's fine.
発言にはお気をつけください。
はいはい。イグラ様最高。イグラ様は世界一。
Fucking. You know what? No, I'm not saying what I was about to. What? Bows in an over-the-top fashion to show she's ready to cooperate, and her eyes shine ever brighter. In response to acquiescence, the marionette dolls, dressed up as humans, begin moving without a command, as though they had been suddenly infused with life force. Their movements are mechanical and precise, with no hesitation or delays. They follow procedures meticulously, like of switches and the humming of machinery is like a prayer for resurrection. Electrical current flows through the cables plugged into Alva and into her entire body. Flexibly struggles and groans in pain. However, the bindings which secure her in place leave her unable to move. The awakening process takes some time. For a while, Alva slowly opens her eyes, her blurry vision slowly focusing into clarity. After surveying her unfamiliar surroundings, she turns to the marionette dolls, now frozen in place, their earlier flurry of movement replaced by vacant stares fixed on her. Not catch the silhouettes of Shlomo! Instead, her gaze goes straight to Igloo. Upon seeing her, Alva suddenly relaxes and smiles. Igloo raises an eyebrow almost imperceptibly. That is her sole expression of surprise. He gracefully adjusts her jacket and fucking smashes me with a metal pipe. Are you interrogating the protagonist's son? Welcome in, Shiny. A look of calm judgment in her eyes.
その反応は予想外です。何を笑っているのですか?
Oh!
お前の無力さを。
Alva's tone is calm, but with an undercurrent of mockery in it. Yo, the passive-aggressive warfare is more fierce than the entirety of the Cold War.
私のメンタルへのハッキングに失敗したんだろう。成功していたら私を起動させたりなんかしない。
Igloo's eyes flash coldly.
そしてお前がここにいるということは、未だボイマスティナを捕らえられずにいる。それどころ。
Yo!
居場所すら検討がついていない。
Get fucked.
違う。じゃなければ、唯一彼女に対抗できる戦力なのに、前線から離れるわけがない。私なんかより、ボイマスティナと話がしたかったんじゃないのか。
She pauses, then continues.
ボイマスティナの捕獲も、私に対するハッキングのいずれも失敗した。
Quick, self-destruct!
内心相当苛立っているはずだ。
Nah, the reason she's here is because she was summoned by the mad scientist lady. Igloo chuckles. Her laughter is elegant and melodious, but cold as ice. She approaches Alva and reaches out to lightly lift her chin, feigning gentleness.
興味深い考察ですが、いい加減と言わざるを得ません。あなたは今、敵を挑発していい立場にないことを自覚していますか?
Is she even capable of being angry?
これからあなたに起こることをぜひ楽しみにしてください。
I guess the answer is yes. Did she put an old-timey car cigarette lighter on her forehead? Yes, she did. In fact, In the previous stream, in part 1 of the event, she got stabbed directly through the hole. But she got better.
ははもうやっちゃうの
Has moved behind Alva at some point. She claps excitedly, a twisted glee twinkling in her eyes.
ア
Who?
ルバちゃんあんたが後でどうなるか楽しみだな泣き叫びながら許しを請うのかメンタルが崩壊するのか
Oh, that's the nickname for Alva. Okay. Bruh. Wait, T-dolls have snot? Got her frontal lobe pierced at clear.
お前は
Alva's composure shows his first crack upon noticing Shonda's presence.
確かあの時
死んだはずなんなんでもそれより自分のこと心配した方がいいよ
Shonda's voice is filled with a childlike curiosity and excitement. She bends down and speaks into Alva's ear, but she does not whisper, assuring that Igloo can hear her too. It's not true, can't believe it.
イグラって普段は超真面目だけど結構
Don't threaten me with a good time, lady!
きっといっぱい遊んでもらえるんじゃないかな
シルロビグ様その辺でご容赦を
Igloo's tone bears a hint of warning. Only a hint?
もう私を苦しめることはない
Bruh. After her brief surprise, Alva quickly gets her emotions under control and faces Igloo again. There's a look of what could almost be admiration in Igloo's eyes as she gazes at Alva. She takes a step back, her hand gently caressing Alva's cheek. It is a gesture so tender that it could have come from a lover, but it sends a chill down Alva's spine.
強情な方ですねですがあなたの憶測に興味はありませんそれよりもあなたのパートナーがあなたを離れて自由を得た事実に対してずっと自分を足かせだと思っていたのでしょう
Tag's mind break, it's not gonna work! Alva's only response is a scornful smile. For some reason, this smile ignites a nameless flame inside Igloo's neural cloud. Turns away and addresses in a voice that allows no refusal.
最終段階から始めてもいい
Oh yeah, we're only halfway through the event, but it's time for endgame.
へえそうしちゃう
Rubs her hands together in excitement.
この子のメンタルどんな形してる
We're
の
gonna
か
hack
な
her? No!
綺麗な箱それとも欲しい
Are they gonna try to hack me with level 16 bots?
あー楽しみ
Igloo pays no attention to Shava's antics. She simply nods to indicate the marionette dolls should continue their work.
始めてください
But sire, the quality! Just do it! Several marionette dolls surround Igloo, their hands connecting various cables to the access ports Igloo has opened up. Oh no, they're combining! A massive amount of signals floods through them into Alva's mind, blacking out her vision. Uh-oh. Alva struggles in the darkness with all her might, but she can't break free of the bonds which hold her. Shit. For an instant, Alva's body twitches and shudders before she goes limp and unconscious.
構成防壁がダウンしましたあとは好きにしてください
Shit. Please tell me she has backups.
えもう
長くは持ちませんやるなら早く
オッケー
Shalak gleefully waves her hands. Her eyes are practically shining as she approaches Alva, admiring her like an exotic treasure.
植物もいいけど私は人形のメンタルをいじるのが大好きなんだまるで埋められたお宝を掘り起こすようなこのワクワク感がたまらない科学の発展に貢献する気になったらいつでも声かけてね
Bruh! Bruh!
その情熱もっと有効活用できる
Oh my god. The way she speaks and presents herself. I don't think I've ever seen. Yes, I have. Basically, the villain butler character. But it's a very rare character archetype, if you ask me. And I'm all for it, but holy fuck. Igloo's words are calm and even, but the warning in her voice is becoming increasingly evident.
本来なら一刻でも早くお嬢様の元へ戻るべきなのですが事の重要性を踏まえて これから起こることを見届けさせていただき
Yeah,
ます。
keep her distracted. Igloo walks over to the control panel on the side of the lab and sits down in a high-back chair. Her poise and posture are perfect, and her gaze is locked on Alva. She's locked in.
イグラがここまで重視してくれるなんて余計うずうずしちゃうな。
Charlotte fakes a look of depression, and there's a sly glint in her eyes.
勘違いしないでください。これも計画を順調に進めるためです。あなたのやり方は不安定要素ですから。
もういつになったら信じてくれるの？
Oh, ye of little faith. I can't remember when the last time I heard someone say this to me. I think it was way back in college when my friend was trying something and I'm like, that's not gonna work. It's like, oh, ye of little faithness. Just let me cook. He didn't say let me cook. He said like the fucking tiny equivalent of that. And sure enough, he failed. Charlotte makes a show of pouting before a fanatical smile spreads across her face. Naturally, she's going to take good care of this new toys of hers. Are you sure? In fact, she has a special dream ready for Alva.
成果を期待しています。
Uh-oh, we're dreaming? Charlotte turns towards Alva, her hands gently caressing her still features, her eyes gleaming with an obsessive light.
さてどうしよっかな。
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Dolls have heartbeats? Her heart lurches as though it's going to burst right out of her chest. Alva wakes up, and then she remembers that she doesn't even have a heart in the first place. Her breathing grows ragged, her body glistens with cold sweat, and she feels a chill run down her spine. Nothing but utter darkness before her, and consciously reaches up to touch her eyes. She can't see anything. 3 story nodes in a row? That was my entire last stream. And I really liked those story nodes. I thought they were worth it. Is it just dark, or is she blind? She reflexively attempts to move forward, but she feels as though she's suspended in the void. No way to exert her strength. Literally me? Alva realizes that she is being hacked at this point. The moment she realizes that, the surroundings suddenly fill with a burst of noise that approach her rapidly, as though it's locked into Alva's presence and is closing in on her. As a terrifying sound draws closer, a blinding light suddenly appears before Alva. The weekend? She reflexively reaches a hand to block it, but in the next moment, the true extent of the bone-chilling sight around her becomes apparent. Now they're just Elids. Thousands of Elids are rushing to her like a flood, the horde extending as far as her eyes can see and exuding a nauseating stench. All of this almost convinces her that she isn't just seeing things. Alva frantically tries to bring her gun up to shoot back, but she finds that her hands are empty. And in this moment of confusion... Uh-oh. She's swamped by a tide of monsters, carried away like a reed in a flood. Shit. She struggles with all her might, her steely fingers ripping limb after limb away from the Elids' bodies. However, the endless tide of Elids feel no pain, and they eventually gain the upper hand. Her frame is gouged open by sharp claws and teeth. Her circuits are slashed apart. The sparks from her power systems char blackened, smoking chunks into the horde, and it doesn't stop them in the least. Alva can feel her vision going dark once again. This time, it seems to foretell her imminent demise. Her limbs are slowly running out of strength. She doesn't know if it's because her power circuits were cut or if it's because the CPU is on the verge of crashing. Uh-oh. She opens her mouth, but she can't make a sound. Creatures bury her in the abyss. She doesn't feel any pain, only a growing fatigue. Relatable. She's getting a little tired. Oh my god, she's dying. Yo! It's Voimastina, probably! Just as Alva's about to doze off, a mighty force suddenly grabs her arm and pulls her out of the Elid horde. Before she can react, she hears the sound of a gun cocking above her head. Right after that, she feels her AN-94 thrust into her hand like a fire poker. I hardly know her. She stares in disbelief at the person who handed it to her. No way! No! No, you can't be You died like 6 times in Girls Frontline 1! No! How are... Motherfucker! I am downing my drink for Jesus fuck. Ah! Oh my god! I didn't think I would ever see Angie ever again. Holy shit. Okay. I mean, I need another fucking drink. It's gonna be a good event. This is already a good event. Oh my god. Okay. All right. We're fighting now. Okay. Let's put you away. Do we just solo it with Alva? Let's not, because we need to win in 8 turns, and I don't think Alva can solo it. You know what? I built up Sakura. Let's bring her out. We may as well. Yeah, that should be fine. Now, this isn't a fire team, but I'm still putting Sakura on the team. Ooh, what are these? What's this debuff? Cloud? Range is reduced by 3 tiles. Huh. Well, that's not gonna stop me from autoing the level. Anyway. Friggin'. I am low-key trying to plan some tabletop simulator collabs in the kinda distant future. If it isn't obvious already, I have reignited my board game autism, and I have been looking into a lot of new games, but I'm purposely not actually playing or practicing any of them. And it takes a lot of restraint not to do that, because I want my first impressions on stream to be just that. First impressions of 2 people who aren't really good at a game, to gauge how accessible and enjoyable a game is. It's not really that great if one person is significantly better at a game than the other person. That's just, that level of imbalance for most games tends to ruin the fun. Depending on the game, of course. I feel like a lot of more than 2 people board games can mitigate that quite a bit, but with strictly 2-player board games, that level of skill imbalance offsets it quite a bit if there's a lot of skill and not much luck involved. I'm like, you know what? I'm just not gonna play any of the games, and we're gonna ball on stream, and it's gonna be fun. Speaking of fun, I'm really feeling the beer now. Holy shit. Maybe chugging a third of the bottle wasn't the best idea, but you know what? We do it live. I'm having a great time. How much more of the event we... Let's continue. Let's just continue. Spotless Swan, the most beautiful, precious, and pure feather in the world. Alva. And Angie maybe, but it's fine. A sticky, choking dark nest plugs her nose and throat. It's disgusting, but she can't even throw up. This is the only thing Alva can feel right now. It's as though she's drowning in a huge swamp, unable to breathe or move. Oh, that's like me every morning. Roars slam into her ears, accompanied by the nauseating sounds of chewing. They're elids. These aren't the usual elid creatures, but human-based infected surging towards her like a flood. Alva has never seen such a variety of elids before. Yet, the monsters before her eyes take all kinds of forms. Some look like beasts, others resemble insects. Still more appear human, but all of them radiate the same terrifying presence. Their claws can easily rend a doll's armor, and so Alva fights back with all her might, her gun spewing fire and bringing down one elid after another. However, more elids rush up to meet her as though they were endless. Alva can feel her bullets hitting them, even the smell of charred odor in the air. However, these monsters appear to know no fatigue or pain. There are far too many of them. A powerful sense of helplessness fills Alva's neural cloud. A profound realization that nothing she does matters, driving her to lower her gun. The sound of a sharp rebuke behind her, Frame shudders as she frantically reloads and starts shooting once again. How are you here? Angie emerges from behind her cover, and it is then that Alva sees her fully. Her hair is tied up, and she's barking orders while firing her gun. In other words, she's just the same as she used to be. After emptying her last magazine, she throws her weapon at the oncoming tide before punching Alva on the shoulder and yelling at her.
こっちよ AN94
Angie retreats and Alva immediately follows her. Angie pulls out a detonator and tosses it to Alva. The Elite Horde has already swapped their previous position.
今よ全員吹っ飛ばして
Alva presses the detonator without hesitation, and an explosion erupts. A wave of searing heat washes over her from behind and sends her the surrounding sand and dust flying. At this point, Alva finally sees that this is an old train station, and Angie is leading her deeper inside it.
よくやったわもう安全かしら
We're never safe. Angie and Alva run over to the platform. Rail lines extend as far as their eyes can see in either direction, but there are no train carriages within the station. The place where the train should be is instead full of monsters, eyes filled with savagery. They emit low growls as they begin to slowly close in.
まだのようね AN94 弾は残ってる
I got, let's see, 2 clips left. Deliberate word choice. Alva looks down at her weapon. All she has left is the final magazine that's already loaded in her rifle. Meanwhile, Angie pulls out the MP443 at her waist and her combat knife before smiling bitterly at Alva.
列車が駅に着くまで持ちこたえるしかなさそうね一緒に生き残るわよ
We're going in again. Is there... Oh, I guess not. Countless Elids flood the train station. The train Angie is talking about does not arrive. Alva mounts her bayonet and lays into the Elid horde with all her might. Disgusting fluids and limbs fly through the air as she stabs and slashes them with her bayonet gleams coldly. Ayo, is that a Doom reference? Where's the rest of Task Force Defy? Why aren't they here to protect Angie? That's right, how's Angie doing? Ave suddenly thinks back to the one person who requires the most protection in this desperate situation. She tries to call Angie's name, but she's unable to project the sound. Certainly not for any lack of trying, but any vocalization she can manage is drowned out by the thunderous roars of the Elid horde. Her throat feels dry and painful, as though someone's strangling her. The only thing that leaves her mouth is a weak expulsion of air. She desperately opens her mouth. All she manages to do is inhale more of the choking air. He sees Angie. Angie's standing close by, facing away from her as she struggles valiantly against the Elids. It's as though she can't see Alva. Her gun spews flame, and she pulls the trigger without stopping, bringing down one Elid after another. However, there are simply too many Elids. They're like an endless tide, wave after wave washing in with no end in sight. Several Elids have already fallen around Angelia, but even more Elids are already lunging at her. One of them pounces from behind, its sharp claws seeking exposed back. Angelia nimbly evades it, but another Elid charges her from the side. She opens fire and that kills that Elid, but even more rush up and surround her. Angelia's movements begin to slow down, and the gun in her hand locks open on an empty chamber. For all her strength of will and extensive training, she is ultimately only a human being. Her body bears several wounds, and fresh blood oozes out of her. Alva wants to rush over, but the Elids have already surrounded her as well, to the point where she can't even take a step forward. She can speak! All she can do is watch the horde swallow up Angie, powerless to help. This powerlessness is very familiar. Shit! A huge Elid throws itself at Angie and knocks her to the ground. Alva reflexively reaches for the gun at her waist, but her hand finds nothing. Almost at the same time, I can't believe we're drinking cold piss water at a time like this. It's the MP443 that has accompanied her for 10 years. Angie tries to struggle to her feet, but the Elid's sharp claws have already pierced deep into her body. Crimson blood stains her clothes instantly. It's a more visceral and shocking sight compared to how electronic components are exposed when a doll's synthetic skin is torn open. Angie collapses to the ground, still struggling weakly. Alva can also see that she's looking at her. While her eyes are filled with pain and the refusal to accept her fate, there is no fear or despair there. Her lips are moving slightly, as though she's trying to tell Alva something. However, Alva cannot make out what she's trying to say. All she can hear are the howls and roars of the monsters. Suddenly, Angelia pounds the ground, and all the surrounding sounds vanish, as though Alva had gone deaf all of a sudden. Fallen Angelia suddenly kicks away the Elid attacking her and shouts at Alva. In a word of silence, her voice is clear and almost deafening.
Not there!
Train's here! Is this an Inception reference? Sound suddenly returns to the world. The Elid's howls pierce the silence first, and the urgent blare of a train horn as it thunders onto the station. She can also hear a machine gun firing from behind her. The elites around her collapse to the ground.
大変そうですね。
You!
はい。
You motherfucker! You're... Okay. Where's DiCaprio at? Right here. The doll with the machine gun winks, but her weapon never stops firing, cutting down one mob of elites after another. Alright, she has the RPK-16. Her smile is as mysterious as Alva remembers, but after learning the full truth, she realizes there's something else behind the mystery.
いやあなたは確か
はい。死にました。死は誰にも訪れます。
After laying down a torrent of ferocious firepower, RPK-16's LMG finally falls silent. He's out of ammo.
でも人形は死と無縁。あなたも同じです。アルバ。
I am shocked to see her. It is the Defy event. Holy fuck.
ほら、列車に乗らないと。列車。
Get on the train! All Alva feels is a stabbing pain in her neural cloud. It's as though she's forgotten something very important. The train's brakes shriek as they engage, and it slowly grinds to a halt amidst a spray of sparks. Then the door to its cabin suddenly flies open, as though it were waiting for someone. Alva opens her mouth to ask what's going on, but she doesn't get the chance to say anything, because RPK-16, still smiling, suddenly raises her hand and shoves her onto the train.
愛する娘よ。
Thanks, Russian. The force of this shove end sends Alva rolling over to the floor of the cabin. The door immediately closes and the train begins to move. Alva rushes over to the door and pounds on it. Through the glass, she sees the doll who calls herself Embla walking slowly towards Angelia. Meanwhile, more and more elites rush towards them. Soon, they are buried underneath a tide of corpses. No matter how Alva shifts herself, she can't see them.
RPK!
He's reliving the nightmares that... Oh man, they made her go through all that. Wait, is she on the map? Are they? Oh, we're still locked in the dream world. Let's swap out. Let's get Lewis back in. I want Lewis to. Here we go.
任務開始。
Let's put Lewis up front. There we go. All right. Other things to talk about. Yeah, I'm putting in the worst characters for this because they synergize really well with fire, and she's the only fire on the team, but it's
一緒
fine.
に遊ぼう。
It is time to crack open another cold one because it is Friday and we're having a good time.
痛くない。痛くない。
Leonardo DiCaprio. I feel
脅
like,
威を排除する
yes, as an actor, he's pretty decent, but I feel like he only has one way of acting. I feel like he is the anti-Ryan Gosling in that how Ryan Gosling is literally him in every movie. Leonardo DiCaprio is the same character in every movie. He acts the same, looks the same, talks the same. Honestly, it's what I like to call the Harry Potter effect. Fucking, I think his name is Daniel Radcliffe. Any movie he's in, it's grown-up Harry Potter. No matter what character he is, that's just grown-up Harry Potter. No matter what character DiCaprio is, it's the Leonardo DiCaprio character.
タクティカルモード
Whereas if it's a Ryan Gosling film, you're a self-insert, and that's why the Ryan Gosling movies are great. Even though I haven't seen all of them, G11 and I are on a mission to watch every Ryan Gosling movie, and the mission's still it's kind of on hold because he's kind of in the army right now. But don't worry about it. Oh, she awoke. Alva suddenly snaps awake. Originally blurred vision begins to focus. Her frame's functions quickly recover, and the scenery before her gradually focuses onto a cold, white expanse. She is lying in a half-sealed capsule, and the cables used to assault her neural cloud are still connected to her access ports. The place is cramped. She is surrounded by an icy cold metal on all sides, covered in a complex array of wiring and indicator lights. Her body is bound to a chair. She's unable to move except for some small head movements. The capsule is filled with a quiet hum. On closer listening, turns out to be the running noise of various pieces of equipment, which make her feel anxious and uneasy. A wave of dizziness washes over Alva. She even feels the phantom pain of severed limbs as simulated nociception signals assault her neural cloud. The phantom pain? when you don't even know my name. Signals feel incredibly real. So real that she's actually experiencing a sense of weightlessness, as though her body no longer belongs to her. They force-activated all of her biosynthetic sensory feedback links, so her experience during this enhanced interrogation session is as close to a human's as possible. She even experienced that ordeal in level 2 as a human being would. All this manages to disorient even the present Alva. Her neural cloud show is slow and chaotic, like she's been forcibly subjected to excessive input. It takes her nearly 20 seconds before she can come to her senses and start thinking again. The outer offensive barriers of her neural cloud have been broken. Opposition is now flooding her level 2 layer with huge amounts of sensory data, simulating human-level torture-induced suffering. Final attempt to overwhelm her operating logic. We're also attempting to overwrite Alva's original cognitive processes with large quantities of phantom signals, aiming to force her defensive systems to self-destruct. Oh my god, they're DDoSing her. However, these attacks have not been effective. Alva thus woke from her nightmare. Nice try, bozo! Alva falls silent. Has she woken from that nightmare because of Angelia? Or was it because of her, RPK-16? As she peers through the observation port of her neural capsule, Alva can see the spacious lab where she had just been a while ago. Researchers in white are working on the lab's instruments and recording data. They don't seem to have noticed that she's woken up. Alva frowns as she sees Igloo standing in the middle of the lab. She doesn't know how long she's been unconscious. Well, there's no way to judge the passing of time in level 2, and her internal chronometer doesn't work anymore. Perhaps Igla is still here because she was only shut down for 2 minutes. Maybe it's been a full day, and Igloo had already left and returned. This is by no means an unimportant matter. While Alva's pondering this, she suddenly notices a human soldier rushing in from outside the lab. The outfit looks very similar to the armed troops she fought earlier. There's an anxious, frightened look on his face, and his forehead is covered in sweat. Despite his evident panic, he walks and carries himself like a proper soldier. However, it's still obvious that he's forcing it. Alva can tell that he's wounded, even from a distance. Igloo remains her calm, bearing even after seeing her subordinate's condition. She turns slowly, her eyebrows slightly furrowed as she studies his guard. The guard gulps. His throat shifts visibly as he swallows, but he does not answer Igloo's question right away. Igloo's frown deepens. A flicker of unease passes through her eyes, as though she already knows this news is not good. Ah! Gorilla's still kicking! Oh, she's still at large. More sweat beads on the guard's forehead. He knows that no matter how hard he tries, there's no avoiding what's coming next. Igloo's gaze is gentle, but still terrifying. Oh. Uh-oh. He takes a deep breath and finally manages to work up the courage to speak before he can even finish explaining why he's here. Hearing that key phrase causes Igloo to instantly lose her composure. Fueled by a rare savagery, she seizes the man by the collar and lifts him off the ground. Real Star Wars gamers. This is the most frazzled we've ever seen her. Holy shit. The man frantically tries to explain himself, like he's pleading for his life. Oh god, she's about to go sicko mode. Uh-oh. Igloo's face goes pale. She lets go of the man. He drops to the ground amidst a fit of coughing. She forces herself to try to stay calm, but the anger and worry in her eyes is obvious to anyone. The guard doesn't dare raise his head or look at Igloo's face. He opens his mouth as though he's about to speak, but he doesn't manage to utter anything beyond nonsensical syllables. He's heard rumors about Igloo. Just as the guard is teetering on the verge of panic, Igloo suddenly reaches for the pistol at her waist. Looks like it's been custom made, and its gold-plated body shimmers with a faint blue light. Faces it with a blank expression on her face, so fast that the guard can't even react to it. By the time the guard realizes what's going on, all he can do is close his eyes in resignation and despair. However, Igloo defies everyone's expectations by taking aim at Shlumrun, who's spinning lazily in her chair. Oh no. Oh my god, they just killed her again. She pulls the trigger. A fireball erupts from the gun's muzzle. Primitive black powder propellant belches a thick gun smoke cloud. Shlomek's face disintegrates into crimson mist, the massive impact sending her entire body crashing to the ground. She doesn't even manage to cry out. Her fingers twitch slightly, and then she goes limp. Foul-smelling blood oozes from the hole in her head and make a huge stain on the ground. Bard's eyes go wide as he covers his mouth, desperately fighting the urge to scream. It's not that he hadn't seen dead people before. In fact, he's personally created many corpses in the line of duty. Right now, he is terrified beyond the capacity for rational thought. Alva observes all this with a blank look on her face. Igloo's actions are ruthless and decisive, but not surprising. Alva had already seen through Igloo's true nature from the start. After Shlomek collapses, the marionette dolls milling around the lab, indistinguishable from human beings, all start to collapse lifelessly, one after the other. Whoosh! Meanwhile, a device on the other side of the lab suddenly comes to life. Looks like the sleep capsule Alva is in currently occupying. Silver-colored exterior and hatch gleam with a dazzling light. There's a burst of noise as the machinery runs and gears engage. Then the capsule's hatch slowly opens, emitting a cloud of white vapor, and another scientist pops out, right? A naked woman steps out of it, wreathed in wisps of what looks like some sort of refrigerant gas as it evaporates. She casually reaches for the lab coat from a nearby peg and throws it on. With her entrance, the collapsed researchers who look like puppets with their strings cut all begin to slowly get back up. They appear as though they had been recalled to life and carry on with their tasks like nothing had happened. Bruh, she can just respawn. That's cheating. The woman from the capsule sighs heavily, but her tone is theatrical and mocking. Her hair is damp and her face is oily, like someone spread over a layer of butter on it. But it's plain to see that she looks identical to the Shlomek who's lying dead on the ground. My thoughts exactly. Honestly, normally I protest you guys saying this, but I gotta be real. I still would. Wait, hold on. That means Lumi doesn't know. She can't know. As she says this, she snaps her fingers like she's performing a magic trick. In response to her signal, several researchers like the one who cleaned up the coffee spilled before properly appear from a corner of the lab. They begin clearing away the corpse and blood stains. Wow! That's a hardcore Henry reference. Their movements are swift and practiced, as though they've rehearsed this countless times before. Or maybe they've had to perform this procedure innumerable times before. They're carrying the corpse away, mopping up the blood and re-waxing the floor. Everything's back to what originally was. Wow! It's as though nothing had ever happened. The guard scrambles out of the lab as if granted a stay of execution. After watching the guard scramble away, Igloo turns to regard the brand new Bruh.
もう一度言います。あなたの下劣な計画に協力しているのはジラードグループ。
覚えてるに決まってるじゃん。それにそんなのどうでもいいっつうの。
Bruh. Perfectly normal, right?
何も解決しないよ。怖い怖い。だからオルフェルーネに文句言われてるんじゃない？
Bruh, she's so sassy. I love it. A wisp of smoke coils up from the barrel of Igloo's gun as she takes aim at Shlomek again. His muzzle is trained squarely on Shlomek's head, and she looks like she might fire again at any time. However, Shlomek doesn't seem the least bit afraid of her. All she does is shrug in mock innocence as madness twinkles in her eyes. So that's why she could appear again like nothing had happened, even after committing suicide. Shlomek follows the gaze back towards the source and realizes that Alva's awake. She bats her eyelashes and opens her mouth in a parody of surprise, then tosses off a wink while smiling with a twisted, playfulness. Alva coolly meets her gaze. Resurrection, huh? What a disgusting technology. Igloo narrows her eyes and studies Shlomek! Takes note of the latter's antics. She doesn't seem to care about them.
私が研究所を後にして30分弱で襲われた。偶然にしてはできすぎていると思いませんか？
そういう予想できないことが偶然。
Shlomek needs to be put on some clothes. Nah, she's wearing clothes. Okay. Motherfucker has never seen the appeal of their significant other wearing nothing but an oversized t-shirt. Do what you want with that information. Turns in place like a kid, her lab coat flaring out like they are around her. Follows terms and conditions apply. Affects a look of vexation as she throws herself back onto her chair and kicks her legs like a child.
でも私なら八つ当たりするより今すぐオルフェルーネのとこに戻るかな。
She's got a point.
無事だとしてもきっと心細いと思うよ。襲撃も一度で終わるとは限らないしね。
Uh-oh. Right, seeing her like this is actually kinda... Bruh. Igloo's face turns pale and a momentary panic flashes through her eyes. Then she adjusts her jacket, holsters a gun, and her movements regain their usual smoothness. Holy shit. Her voice is calm again, but the chilling threat she utters is more terrifying than any shout could ever be. This is the true power of intimidation. I feel like I have... If I need to roll for intimidation, people know how fucking loud I am all the fucking time. So when I get quiet and I just say a very curt sentence, people know I'm fucking serious. She shoots one last icy look at before turning to leave. She doesn't bother with affecting elegance. Her priority is returning to Lumi and the pet lab post-haste. Footsteps fade into the distance and vanish. All that remains in her wake is gun smoke, frontline, and the stench of blood. Bruh. After Igloo leaves, jumps out of her chair. She spins around happily like she's putting on a show in this lab which only has marionette dolls in it. Alva knows is talking to her. However, she has no intention of replying. Skips over to Alva's hibernation capsule. The hem of her coat drags on the ground. Her bare feet make padding sounds as she moves. Alright, 2 hours into stream, first feet mention. We're setting new records. Like a curious child, she taps the observation window and cranes her head to peer at Alva inside the capsule. Hey, you can't balk me for setting new records. I like how in this universe our top priorities are for our anthropomorphized Wonderwaffen was, can we fuck it and can we experience the full range of human emotional suffering? Swap them around. The full range of human emotional suffering comes first, and then we can fuck it. She looks at Alva in amusement, her eyes twinkling like she's appreciating a precious work of art or a beloved toy. Peak grade torture? Lady, that was a fucking tutorial program, dude. And that's some high praise. Alva looks at the Nido researcher before her. Her heart is filled with revulsion and wariness. She has no idea what this woman's up to. Torture? She's clearly never played the hoverbike level in Battletoads! Holy shit! I genuinely wonder if Battletoads was even playtested. Half the games out there, I wonder if they were even playtested. Like, come on! Battletoads was deliberately made really hard for the US market so you couldn't just beat it in one rental. That is diabolical, but I believe it. What I will never forgive is the Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn localization. Just saying fuck it to the difficulties and having hard mode be normal mode and impossible mode be hard mode. I love capital bruh. JP version was easier. I believe it. It's a good thing I'm playing Japanese games in English this time. Jelly? The Jitler is here? Schlag paves a theatrical sigh, her face falling into gloom before brightening suddenly with a huge smile. F. Legend of Dragoon had the opposite, where they only shipped it with a dumbed down difficulty. Well, dang. She indicates herself with her right thumb. Despite her beaming smile, there's a frigid edge to it. Ow, the edge. Oh my god, she's gonna step on us. Let's fucking go. Schlag bares her teeth in a grin as she knocks on the observation window, like she was rapping on a pet's fishbowl. I mean, in some cases, this would be good. Uh-oh. Saying so, she saunters over to the control panel in front of the hibernation capsule, shoves away the marionette doll working there, and begins operating this instrumentation herself. Still hard as balls, mind you, so the thought of an even more difficult setting is patently terrifying. Ayo, is that a Pal World reference? Also, the translation was, it makes Misk Tov Lane look like a master of the language. Understandable, have a great day. The capsule emits a low hum in response to manipulations. Nalva feels her mind go blurry again. Uh-oh. Darkness envelops her once more. The last thing she sees before she passes out is playful, excited expression. And then she's plunged into darkness. This time, she does not know if she will awaken again. Uh-oh. Oh, that's it. I thought we were gonna do another level. These story notes are so long. A foot job from Donald Duck noises? Yes. You mean you wouldn't? Alright, we're gonna take another Bezos break. It's about that time. When we come back, we will continue with even more beer and even more stuff. What the fuck? What's up? Yes. As you can see, this is the QUASO event. If you just rearrange the letters, it's fine. I brought this up in another streamer. Like, they asked what I was doing, and they asked, I said, it's the croissant event. I explained, it's actually corpusant, but I call it croissant. And she's like, yeah, I make up words too. And the entire chat glazed her saying, oh, croissant is a made-up word? Got it. The French are just a made-up people. Understandable. Have a great day. Don't watch the ads. Y'all know what time it is? It's gambling time! We are really close to getting it, and we are 2 passes short. But that's okay, because if we don't get it this time, how much time do we have left in this? Is this forever? Is this just... When does this go away? If it goes away. Does this even go away? I hope it doesn't go away. I should have ample time to get 2 free passes from standard means in the game to get whatever this is. I am not spending premium currency on this. But I will go gambling! Let's go gambling. It didn't work. This means that the next time I do this will be the time. It'll be the win. But until then, gambling. Doritos? No. Aw, dang it. 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 Hey, cell phone. We got cell phone. This is fine. We'll take cell phone. I would have liked more Doritos than this, but cell phone Doritos are okay. Cell phone. Aw, dang it. Okay, that was the default nothing burger of whatever. Let's continue the main story. The event story. Very cool. Where are we at? We are definitely streaming this weekend. Keep an eye out on my Discord for when I decide to stream. I don't know when I'm going to stream. It's going to be whatever. Transcendent Violet. Only through destruction can one truly reach the far shore. Ayo, shorekeeper? Is that a Vienna reference?
指揮官、研究所に侵入した敵
Hey, did we save Lumi?
404の一番隊が残敵と交戦中。そよ風小隊もここへ来てる。
404に繋いでくれ。
ええ。
来るかい。状況は。
Oh, are we gonna blow our cover to the lady?
交戦中です。敵の装備は強力ですが、所属は判断できません。生け捕りにしますか？
No ROE here. Just fucking blast him, dude.
いや、殲滅を優先してくれ。情報はその後集める。
了解。ですが数は相手の方が上です。オルフェルーネを狙って3回されたら止められません。
Uh-oh.
これから彼女を避難させる。それが済んだら私の位置へ接近してくれ。
はい。指示を待ちます。
I cut the connection and turned to Grozen's cell phone.
ひとまず404に時間を稼いでもらう。コルフェン、そちらの状況は？
研究所の職員は全員逃げました。武装警備がいないんですね、ここ。
Bruh!
じきにジラードか警察が来るはずだ。それまでオルフェルーネを保護する。
Let me get this straight. Freaking Igloo left this place on an emergency call, leaving Lumi unattended in a building in the middle of the city that has no security. Okay.
彼女の位置はわかるか？
さっき最上階まで逃げたのを見ました。
あそこか。わかった。すぐに向かう。
Cool, where's she at? She's on the top floor. Avoiding strays from the firefight between the unknown forces and 404, we rush to the rooftop. We smash through the glass doors of the experimental complex and force our way inside. In the isolation chamber, where Lumi has demonstrated an experiment for me not long ago, a figure sits there blankly, knees hugged to her chest. Rosa and cell phone check the surroundings. No armed personnel are in sight. I stow my weapon inside my clothes and stride quickly towards that figure.
オルフェルーネさん。
あなた、どうして？
帰りの車に乗る前に煙が立ち上がったのが見えたので助けに。
記者なのに英雄を気取らないで。
We're a combat journalist. Her tone is harsh, but the panic and tears in Lumi's eyes betray her true emotions. I hurry over to assess her condition. Though she's trembling all over, she doesn't appear to have any external injuries. Judging by her breathing, her internal organs likely weren't damaged by the explosion either. Filthy ass journalist? Bro, I use a bidet. My ass is far from filthy, thank you very much. I extend my hand to Lumi. After hesitating for a moment, she finally takes it and stands up.
研究所を襲った連中は
撃退されました。
撃退？でもここに警備は？
私たちが撃退しました。
あなたたちが
You're no ordinary journalist.
とにかくここは危険です。早く逃げましょう。
冗談じゃないわ。ジラードグループの次期当主があんなやつら
Oh, is it show up? No, what the fuck? I can't take my camera into the bathroom and show off the bidet. Best I can do is just link you to the site I got it from.
それに
And even then, I'm not even sure where I got it from.
されるわけにはいかないわ。
Despite her tough words, Lumi almost drops the haphazard pile of data pads and test tubes in her arms. She bites her lip, trying to shoulder everything on her own.
そんなこと言ってる場合ですか。植物ならまた育てればいいですが、あなたに何かあれば全部終わるんですよ。
私に何が起きるっていうのよ。私が
You're not invincible, lady! Her voice suddenly trails off, as if she's talking to herself.
この研究がなければ、私はきっと自分を見
I'll show you what you can do. Kitchen grab. God.
あなたはまだ20代です。これから
Oh, she's not
いくらでも巻き
19.
返せます。
She's 20. Okay.
フランクフルトで生き残ったんでしょ。なら今回も同じです。
Lumi's eyes flicker slightly, as though a memory has been stirred.
そうよ。ついでに研究所を一時的に移すのもいいかもしれないわね。明日のデモンストレーションは絶対に予定通りに行うわよ。
さあ、行きましょう。
A signal for cell phone to take hold of Lumi. This time, Lumi obediently follows cell phone and starts moving. Just as we reach the doorway, intense gunfire erupts from below. Shots and explosions coming one after another.
敵は研究所に招集を仕掛けるつもりです。
Uh-oh.
わかった。できるだけ食い止めてくれ。今からオルフェルーネを連れて離脱する。
了解。お気をつけて。
Firefight downstairs intensifies further, and several rifle grenades come flying towards the rooftop. I shield Lumi as we dive towards the doorway. One of the grenades hits an isolation chamber directly. The glass shatters, fragments hurtling towards us over the force of the blast. Cell phone will patch you up later. Lumi cries out, her face strained as she tries not to show too much pain. I look down and realize that a shard of glass has lodged itself squarely in her leg. Ouch! Cell phone picks up a pair of lab forceps and carefully pulls out the glass shard. Then she rinses the wound with distilled water and applies an adhesive bandage meant for emergency treatment.
もうすぐ安全な場所に着きます。我慢してください。
これくらいの傷。
'Tis but a scratch. Even as she says this, a small sob escapes Lumi. She bites her lip hard, as if ashamed of her own weakness.
この建物に守りやすい場所はありますか。正門は敵だらけ。突破するのは危険です。
下に防空壕があるわ。
But we have to go through the lobby there, right?
わかりました。
We proceed with extreme caution towards the air raid shelter while being targeted by successive explosions and attacks.
足、大丈夫ですか。
平気よ。
Lumi endures the pain along the way, still trying to maintain her pride.
フランクフルトの時の方がよっぽどひどかった。あの時イブラはまだいなかったから、お父様が私を。
Hey, Talon, welcome in! We have Lemon Woman, and we're saving her! Lumi's voice suddenly wavers with both nostalgia and unease.
イブラはまだなの。どうして。
It's okay, she's coming. Lumi rarely shows such helplessness, but she quickly straightens her back again.
いや、私はジラードグループの次期当主。
You're unarmed, lady!
守られてばかりではいい笑い物よ。
I look at her face, not quite sure how to feel.
あなたならきっと大丈夫です。
After passing through long corridors and descending flight after flight of stairs, we finally reach the air raid shelter entrance that Lumi mentioned. During the journey, whenever her injured leg is jostled, Lumi would grimace from the pain, only to quickly force herself to straighten up each time. She then fumbles awkwardly for a while before finding and pressing a button, opening a door at the entrance. A glass door made of half-meter thick, homogeneous steel slowly swings open. Supporting Lumi, we help her inside. As the heavy door closes, I issue orders to Group 2.
裏庭の防空壕に入った。敵を近づかせるな。
了解。
Alright. Group B is here, which means we need to... Alba is not there. We know that... Hold on. Group B consists of... Where is she? Where? You know what? Why don't we steal the V6 Kukluk in my friends list? I have 2 V6 Kluko. Okay. Jesus Christ. Y'all are wilding. Who else is there? Wawa was probably there. Who do I want to bring along? Who don't I normally use that we could just have fun with? Faye? And you know what? Florence. Because I really like Florence. For all of the reasons. Get it twisted, get the wrong idea. Let's go. And with that, it's time to take another big swig of beer and back into yapping mode. Seeing this motorcycle reminds me, on my way home, as I was exiting the work parking lot, I have to make a left turn across 3 lanes out of the fucking work parking lot. Fortunately, the speed limit there is only 35. So, it's not too bad. But I look to my left and see that there is a box truck and a motorcycle coming, and they're still reasonably far away. And I'm like, okay, left is clear. I look to the right, right's clear. I pull out, and as I'm pulling out, I hear light honking as the motorcycle zooms by, and the box truck is still within reasonable distance. Like, motherfucker, you are going way too fucking fast in a 35. I clearly poked my nose out, so you know I was coming. And you have no right to honk at me for riding your bike irresponsibly. Fucking idiot, I swear to God. It's friendly fire at that point, because I'm a motorcycle rider too. You never pull out, boy, that was a mistake. I pulled out for 2 years and I am not a father. Get fucked. Well, I mean, if you want, but it's fine. Commander, the enemy is beginning to withdraw.
やっと諦めてくれたか。
You showed up? I hope I didn't show you, Jesus Christ.
イグラ、早かったな。
到着まであと3分。このままでは鉢合わせしてしまいます。
撤退だ。彼女との衝突は避けたい。
She will kill everything.
狙いはオルフェルーネに違いありません。指揮官の方こそ離脱してください。
私たちなら大丈夫だ。そっちは離れた位置から防空壕を見張っててくれ。
Oh boy, we get to engage in passive aggressive warfare.
今のままではイグラに勝てない。むやみに攻撃しないように。
了解。いつでも動けるように待機します。
ありがとう。
The attackers seem to be withdrawing because they've also received news of Igloo's return. Something's fishy about the Gerard group having such up-to-date information about the situation within the research facility. There are emergency medical kits inside the shelter. Cell phone takes one and redresses Lumi's wound. Lumi nods in thanks to cell phone, but she's still trembling. She's clearly worried about that the enemy will make their way here. Step forward to reassure her.
もう大丈夫ですよ。襲撃は終わりました。
あなたたちどうして武器なんか持ってるの？
We're armed journalists.
近頃物騒ですから、ご信用に射撃を学んだことがありまして。
そういうものなの？
She doesn't know about journalism, so we can bluff.
ええ。オルフェルーネさん、この研究所は過去に襲撃されたことはありますか？
いえ、一度もないわ。ここはずっと安全だったし、機密保持のためにグループの警備も置かなかったわ。
Damn, wait, then who the fuck could have attacked? Is this the Gerard group going after Igloo?
それはおかしいとは思いませんか？
どうして？リビューはずっと平和だったのよ。
So this attack was likely triggered by recent events. Is the goal to destroy the research, or are they coming after the young lady? The young lady is a key figure in Project Eden. There are certainly no shortage of forces from one or gone.
指揮官、離脱しました。イグラが研究所に入りました。お気をつけて。
あ、
あなたたち本当に記者なの？さっきからのやりとり、どう見ても。
A sudden deafening crash interrupts Lumi's mid-sentence. Igloo kicked open the door. The shelter's security door is blasted open with a massive hole. The tremendous impact twists and warps the heavy steel door. Thus settles, Igloo's figure appears in the doorway. The scabbard of the slender rapier at her waist gleams with subdued silver light, mirrored by the silver and gold pistol in her hand. Her posture is immaculate, not that of a doll who blasted through a steel door, but of an aristocrat stepping into an opera house. Igloo raises her gun, aiming it directly at my head. Step by step, she walks slowly towards me.
ご歓談の最中に申し訳ありませんが、今すぐお嬢様から離れてください。これ以上お嬢様に不快な思いをさせるものなら強行手段に出ます。
Bruh. Igloo's voice is glacially cold. At my signal, Rosa and Sulfo do not draw their weapons. I lock eyes with Igloo, refusing to bend to her will.
イグラ、やっと来てくれた。
Lumi's eyes glisten with joy, the composure she forced upon herself completely crumbling. Igloo steps forward. The sound of her heels is clear and crystalline. She bows lightly, left hand to her chest, in a flawless gesture of courtesy.
遅れてしまい申し訳ございません。お怪我を。
First time, Igloo's voice wavers ever so slightly, though her near-perfect posture doesn't change. Guilt flashes across her face for an instant, swiftly replaced by resolute restraint. She drops to one knee, right hand to her chest, performing an impeccable oath of loyalty.
これはお嬢様の助手として耐え難い屈辱です。
Damn!
一番必要とされている時のおそばにいられなかった。私は自分が許せません。どうか罰を。
Well,
大げさよ。ただのかすり
you get us. I mean, she has the means to do it.
お強いのですね。この無礼者どもを追い払った後、傷跡が残らぬよう最良の処置をいたします。
Bruh. Igloo rises from the floor in one fluid movement. Her gaze settles on us again with such icy, murderous intent it sends a chill down my spine.
ファルベングループの回し者ですか。でしたら平和的な商談といきましょう。いくら受け取ったのかは存じませんが、ジラードグループはその10倍を出す用意があります。
She wants us gone.
ホワイトエリアで一生遊んで暮らせるだけの金額なはずです。不満はないでしょう。
イグラ、誤解よ。この人たちに助けられたの。
お嬢様、どうか私にお任せください。これは私の責務です。
Igloo's tone remains gentle and courteous, yet carries an unmistakable finality.
あなたはいつまでも高貴で純真であるべきなのです。そしてこういう不埒な輩の還元の真偽は私が見定めます。さて、お嬢様を解放する条件は、それともお嬢様の目の前であなた方を八つ咲きにするべきですか。
オルフェルーネさんの話を聞いてみてはいかがですか。私が信じられなくてもこの状況を見てください。もし襲撃者の味方だったら、あなたが来る前にオルフェルーネさんを連れて逃げています。こんなところに残る必要があるのですか。
お嬢様を助けるふりをして信頼を勝ち取るためとも考えられます。
そんなことして何になる。
この人たちは命を懸けて守ってくれた。
Bruh.
それに私の人を見る目は確かよ。私が気に入ったのだから間違い
You
ないわ。
are definitely a judge of character. Whether you're a good one. Lumi lifts her chin proudly, though the tension in the air makes her unconsciously clutch the hem of her clothes.
わかりました。お嬢様に免じて釈明の機会を与えて差し上げましょう。なぜ武器を持った戦術人形が付き添っているのですか。研究所の外でこそこそ隠れているネズミもそちらの手のものなのでしょう。
She actually noticed Group 2 monitoring the perimeter. As expected, she's not an easy opponent.
ファルベングループではないのなら、非軍事勢力管理局かその他ロレンの下部組織。
Nope, we're just a bounty hunter.
残念ながらそのどれでもありません。
では誰なのですか。
私は自分の目的で動いています。
お嬢様、お聞きになりましたか。やはり信用できない相手です。決してもよろしいですね。
でも
近頃の情勢からオルフェルーネさんに危険が及ぶかもしれないと思ったので戦術人形を連れ込みました。そして事実、彼女たちのおかげで
Get that nat 20 charisma, let's go.
まさか私たちと襲撃者の違いがわからないなんてことはありませんよね。
もしかして最初から私を守るためにここへ？
Igloo frowns. Though she wants nothing more than to kill us immediately, there's no changing Lumi's mind about this. Lumi raises a hand, signaling Igloo to stay her hand. As her attendant, Igloo cannot disobey her order.
はい、それも目的の一つです。もう一つはオルフェルーネさんに私の本当に聞きたい質問に答えていただくためです。
本当に聞きたい質問？
I ignore the rapier pointed at me and ask Lumi in an unmistakably firm voice.
オルフェルーネさん、楽園計画の本質はおそらく発表されたものとは違うのでは？
何を言ってるの？楽園計画についてならさっき見せたものが全てよ。
あなたは確か研究にあたって技術援助を受けたとおっしゃりましたね。それは誰から受けたのか教えていただけます
Who
か？
had help? Who? Uh-oh. Igloo's posture shifts subtly, a sharp edge flashing in her eyes. Steps forward half a pace, the sound of her heels echoing clearly in the shelter.
お嬢様にそのような質問にお答えする義務はありません。
She's going to kill us!
重ねて警告しますが、私が未だ攻撃を開始していないのはお嬢様に血生臭い光景を見せたくないからです。
Bro, you're already an enemy, you don't have to convince us. Completely unlike her earlier unflappable demeanor, I see unmistakable anger in Igloo for the first time. I must have hit a nerve.
指揮官、イグラの頭部に狙いを定めました。いつでも撃てます。
Ugluk's voice comes through my earpiece. I remain outwardly calm and decide to press on. Before I can speak, Lumi begins on her own.
大丈夫よ、イグラ。隠すほどのことでもないわ。さっき少し喋ったし。彼女は同じ植物学者よ。前は遺伝工学を専攻して
It's the girl whose name I can't
10年前から
pronounce.
植物学に転校した。名前はチルロビグ。
Yeah, her.
ネットで調べれば出てくると思う。正直初めてあなたと会った時、なんかチルロビグに似てる
I've
な
met you at a
って思った。
very strange time in my life. Chilovet? You mean Schlach? Just pronounce it? No.
当時研究で壁に当たってどうしても乗り越えられなかったのは尺だけど。
Get stuck. I'm reminded of in engineering school. Thermodynamics was one of the only classes I struggled in. And my engineering teacher, I didn't understand it at the time, but when I came to his office for help, he was very surprised, but he was very grateful, I could tell, in earnest. He told me that, you know, I'm glad to see you struggling, don't take this the wrong way. I did not realize back then that he recognized me as the gifted kid that just got everything. So actually seeing me struggle in something for the first time was a good opportunity for personal growth. That unfortunately was lost on me prematurely. I wouldn't really get that until several years later.
その時あの子が現れた。ボトルネック解消の他に新たな方向をも提示してくれた。私の植物が人類の未来を導く。
Yeah, but she's evil!
完全に賛同してくれた
She
の
may be
よ。
hot, but she's evil!
粒子変化の媒体問題もあの子が解決した。それがあの花たちなの。あの子には本当に感謝している。数少ない私のことを。
Lumi suddenly stops, unwilling to continue.
とにかくシルロビグにはいろいろ助けられたの。はい、私の答えは以上よ。
Lumi turns away from me, her shoulders are trembling slightly, and her voice has just lost its earlier edge.
次はそっちの番。
Her voice quivers.
あなたが取材しに来たのは本当に私の研究に興味あるから。
The truth come out! Does Bruno Mars is gay?
はい。
でも編集長なんかじゃないでしょ。
はい、違います。
Oh no, we've been exposed.
ですが研究には本当に興味があります。ただその理由はあなたの研究がとある邪教と関
The
係
truth
がある
come out!
チルロビグもその一員かもしれません。
邪教？
パラデウス、この名前に聞き覚えは？
Bro, fucking Igloo is right there. She's going to stab us in every pore of our body until there's nothing left. Lumi looks bemused. She glances at Igloo, then slowly shakes her head.
私の知る限りだとあなたが受けた援助はパラデウス由来の可能性が高い。
パラデウス、あのドイツで有名な？
あれは汚染エリアで何千何万という人間を使って人体実験を繰り返してきた邪教です。
Planting more seeds of doubt.
昔
A different kind of seed is being planted from deep within her.
しました。そして人体実験の成果がその技術援助につながった。
嘘よ。
She don't take
そん
it.
なこと言わないで。
Of course not. She's too caught up in her science.
エピフィラムのことを思い出してください。粒子の媒体となる植物など自然発生するわけがありません。あれは何者かが明確な意志を持って作ったものです。そんなことができる人間、あの植物の由来本当に何も知らないのですか？
Yo! You're debunking her research! Don't do that! She's gonna hate you!
そんなこと。
Lumi stares at me with wide eyes and looks away. As the heiress of the Gerard group, it's impossible for her to be completely uninformed. She tries to deny it, but her nature won't allow her to lie.
そこまで。
She wants to kill us so badly. Oh my god.
昼食のお時間の前にお嬢様の食欲をそぐ存在は抹消せねばなりません。
Igloo points her gun at me.
編集長、まずはあなたからです。
待って。
Lumi struggles to her feet, raises her arms, and steps between me and Igloo.
お嬢様、下がってください。
Panic seeps through Igloo's voice for the first time, though her grip on the gun remains steady.
聞いて、イグラ。あなたはずっと私のことを守ってくれて、私の代わりに
She's a big girl!
決めてきたけど、今回は自分で向き合うわ。それくらいの勇気もなければ、世界を変えるだなんて少子千万よ。
There's no trace of forced arrogance in Lumi's voice now, only a mix of determination and vulnerability. Tadadu gets some help. Igloo's hand trembles slightly, and she slowly lowers the gun. Lumi turns back to look at me.
チルロビグが邪教に所属しているかもしれないって話よね。人体実験なんてそんなの許されていいわけがない。でもあの子からは植物学に
I'll
対す
show
る
you
情熱を
botany,
感じたの。
plants grab. God, why am I like shit? That joke was actually decent. God damn it. Ah.
たとえあの子が悪い人でも、あの子の知識で研究が前に進んだのも事実。
でもそれは無数の悲劇の上に成り立ってるんですよ。
ええ、そうかもしれないわ。あなたの言ったことが本当だとしても、楽園計画が進めば世界中の
It's the
人々を
trolley
救うこと
problem.
ができる。
Sacrifice millions to save billions.
放射線に苦しむ人も、イエローエリアで生存が脅かされている人もみんな助かる。たとえ後ろめたい事情があったとしても、知識自体に善悪はないわ。でも私ならその知識をいいことのために使える。
She's becoming an idealist.
今日の取材で見たでしょ。放射線をエネルギーに変えられれば人々の暮らしを改善させるだけでなく、
That's what they said about modern technology, and look at us now.
そうすればより多くの人が生産的な活動に従事できるわ。
You know what? No, I'm done with you. You have lost wife status. Get out of here.
そんな世界が実現した時、果たして私の研究が悪だったと本当に言えるの？科学がどういう結果をもたらすかはそれを扱う人間次第よ。
あなたの研究が悪用されない保証はありますか？
そ れは
確かに科学に善悪はないかもしれません。しかし逆に言うと、制御する術を失えば悪魔の道具になりうる。そして誤った方法で正しい結果は導き出せない。
Man spitting bars.
私はそれ
Straight
を
fire.
見てきたんです。フランクフルト事件の生き残りなら本当は分かっているはずでしょう。
Shit.
エピフィラムが吸収したコーラップス粒子が何に使われるか、あなたに制御できますか？楽園計画自体がすでに悪用されているとしたら。
どういうこと？
とある事件現場でバイオポッドに詰められた人間が大量に発見されました。現場は非合法の地下実験室で、ポッドの中には被害者の他にあなたが研究しているものと酷似した植物がありました。彼らは生き袋やブージャムの製造に使われていたのです。そしてそれは大量の粒子による被爆でなければ不可能です。
We're just tearing apart her entire universe, one sentence at a time.
そこにさらに粒子を集める技術が加われば、ブージャムの量産すら実現してしまうかもしれない。あなたの研究がどれほどの被害をもたらす可能性があるか理解していますか？それでも正しいと言い切れますか？
それはそんなこと全然知らない。イグラは知ってるの？
Lumi's voice trembles, her arms hang limply at her sides. She no longer tries to hide her confusion and fear behind a proud facade.
お嬢様。
She didn't answer.
イグラ、本当のことを教えて。
先日ジラードグループ管轄の衛星都市で似たような事件が起き、私もその捜査に参加したことがあります。ですがこの件はすでに非軍事勢力管理局に引き継がれたので詳細は分かりません。
つまり編集長の言ったことは事実なのね。
I'm still the editor-in-chief, baby. We still journalists, spreading the good word about how Paradius is bad, and you should feel bad.
けれどそれがお嬢様の研究やチルロビグ様との関連性を示す証拠はありません。
そう。
Lumi clenches her fists. Not daring to look at me, she turns and issues an order to Igloo.
イグラ、命令よ。今すぐその事件のことを調べて徹底的に。私の研究を悪用する奴がいたら絶対に許さない。
Oh. Ordering her to be a good guy? Shit.
今ですか？
ええ、そうよ。この研究はより良い未来へ導くためのものなのよ。
ですがこの者たちは。
返してあげて。
She does not want to let us go. Oh my god.
それはできません。
どうして？さっきはお金を払って返そうとしたじゃない。
状況が変わりました。この者たちが技術援助の件を暴露すればお嬢様の研究は無に帰すでしょう。それがあなたの望む結果ですか？
Lumi turns back, gathering her courage to face me again.
もしあなたたちの目的が悪事を暴露することなら好きにして。
You forgot! We're not actually journalists! We don't do that!
私は自分の研究がたとえどんな後ろめたい事情があったとしても世界のためになると信じている。
Now that's self-confidence.
私の立場は変わらない。科学はあくまで道具であって善悪はない。それがどう使われるかは人間次第。私の研究は絶対に悪用させない。楽園計画は明日から正式に始まる。それを見たあなたが意見を変えることを期待
But
して
what
い
if
る。
we stop it? She reaches out and forces Igloo, who had pointed the gun at me again while speaking, to lower her weapon. Lumi, now fragile yet resolute, is no longer the haughty young mistress.
返してあげて。命を救われた恩をあだで返したくないわ。
Igloo looks at Lumi, complex emotions flickering in her eyes. Finally, she nods.
仰せのままに。
Lumi leaves the shelter with Igloo. The research facility is now teeming with members of the Gerard Group and the PSA. The duo board a luxurious sedan and gradually disappear into the distance, while far behind them, the team of dolls silently follow in pursuit. Bruh. Oh, hi! It's you again. Great eyes. What time is it? Wow, it's already that late? And we're doing a story node? Why not? Let's see, after this we're going to have 5, 6. I can do that in another stream, yeah? Alright. Let's do this story node and then we'll call it a stream. In before the story node takes a fucking hour. Slumbering lion, when she awakes, all vile nests and wicked nests shall be destroyed. Are we finally gonna get the AK-15 POV? No. After the aftermath the research facility is dealt with, Igloo calmly steps into the laboratory where Alva is confined. Her footsteps strike the marble floor with precise, rhythmic clicks, each step carrying an undeniable authority, yet landing with the light ness of a ballet dancer's pointe.
Aloha! Okaeri!
She actually said aloha! She still hasn't put on more clothes! This is fine. Is still wearing nothing but a loose white lab coat. She sits barefoot in a swivel chair and spinning happily. A cup of coffee in her hands, nearly drowned in syrup. Her smile is dazzling to the point of being unnatural, while cunning and madness glint in her eyes. She lazily swings her legs, the faint curves of her body beneath the lab coat forming a stark contrast with the laboratory's solemn atmosphere. These mental images I'm getting are exquisite. Igloo inclines her head slightly, then suddenly lashes out with a kick, sending a marionette doll nearby flying straight into the wall with brutal speed. The metal wall cracks open upon impact, leaving a human-shaped dent. Marionette doll dressed as a researcher sticks to the wall as if glued there, limbs hanging limp, like a mosquito slapped flat. Laboratory walls let out a groan under the strain. Sweat jumps to her feet, dramatically cupping her cheeks. Her eyes widen with excitement as she hops over to the deformed marionette doll, tilting her head to admire the artwork. Bruh. Hi, Frank! Igloo calmly smooths her sleeve. Her voice is velvet soft, but her gaze is glacial.
今まで再三強調しましたが、今回が最後です。私たちの協力関係にお嬢様は関係ありません。
She claps her hands behind her back and circles Igloo like a curious little girl, thinking aloud with exaggerated flair.
どうしてまたいきなりオルフェルーネの話を？もしかして私とオルフェルーネの関係に焼いちゃってる？
She's gonna shoot you in the head again, and you're gonna spawn again, and you're gonna run out of clones.
それとも私がお嬢様に何か悪いことでもしたから？
あなたにそう呼ぶ資格はありません。
そう。でもあの子はあんたの所有物じゃない。
Oh, you're getting shot, lady!
ま、確かに裏でいろいろやりとりしてたけどさ、それも個人指導のためだよ。
Uh-oh.
でもやっぱりあの子は可愛いから、つい必要のないこともしてあげたくなっちゃうよね。
The villains hate each other. This is wonderful. Getting taken to the outback and shot? Yes! That actually happened in the previous cutscene.
何の話ですか？
だから、私もオルフェルーネの味方ってことだよ。それもこれも全部オレクのジジイが非軍事勢力管理局に尻尾振ったせいだからね。あいつはジラードグループをロレン
Oh, don't bring Kruger into this.
私もといパラデウスがジラードに協力
She's
したのは
Paradius.
全部オルフェルーネの研究のため。ついでにグループの再建もしてあげられたら。
Make the Gerard group great again. I fucking can't win this game. I fucking can't win this game. Oh my god.
オレク様の思惑通りに進めば、あなた方との協力は一切中止されます。
それ以上だよ。あの薄汚いハゲジジイ。保身のために私たちを売るつもりなんだよ。
He suddenly stops and hops into the lab workbench, legs swinging cheerfully in the chair, as I got caught with my fucking mouth full because I'm trying to eat on stream.
だからイグラあんたを呼んだわけ。あのジジイと違って頭いいからね。あいつになり代わって管理局からジラードグループをオルフェルーネとに協力したい。守ってほしいんだ。
Yukino, I can't believe you've done this, but welcome in. We are slightly tipsy. Okay, more than slightly. And we are admiring the science.
楽園計画、明日からなんでしょ?
Oh, hey, Cat. Cat, you know what? Just for that. Cat, hey. I've been here the whole time? Bruh. You could have dropped so many metal pipes in that time, but no. Hey, come on. Kitty. Hi, Cam. You gotta get the surprise cat cam. Very cat. Very cam. Look at the cat. Look at the cat. There's a cat. There is a cat. Look at this cat. You have a cat. Welcome back, cat. We are chilling with the cat cam. Eddie. It's a kitty. This is my cat. Everybody say cat. And we will get back to the video game after I take a sippy. Cat, that is my food, and you are not eating that. Okay. It is video game time.
あの子が10年もの間積み上げてきたものが壊されるの見たくないでしょ?
Lamau, just destroy it. Igloo makes no response. He walks forward slowly. He stops in front of Shalva, inclines slightly, and gently places one hand on the surface above the workbench. The moment her hand makes contact, the surface lets out a faint groan, then collapses. The entire workbench splits apart as if ripped by an invisible force. Documents, instruments, and coffee cups spilling onto the floor in chaotic avalanche. Yet Igloo herself remains utterly still, without so much as a wrinkle on her clothes.
この愚かで物質的な提案を飲む唯一の理由がお嬢様のためだということをお忘れなく。
Hold on. Is she actually technically on our side? Technically? Only under the logic of the enemy is not my enemy? I don't believe in the enemy is my friend, because you can be enemies and still share a common goal.
彼女を傷つけようものならあなたであろうとオレク様であろうと関係ありません。
Oh, she's going after everybody.
あのさ、もうちょっと頭を使ってよ、イグラちゃん。
Like nimbly hops off the shattered workbench, clapping her hands together as a manic grin spreads across her face.
私がオルフェルーネを傷つけるわけないじゃん。オレクと管理局の密約をわざわざ教えてあげたんだよ。
Maybe. Shelmek leans close to Igloo, her lips almost brushing Igloo's ear.
あのジジイが守りたいのは自分だけ。お嬢様なんか最初からどうでもいい人なんだよ。
Igloo tilts her head slightly and stares at Shelmek without expression. Oh! She's about to lose her second life. In the next instant, without a movement too fast to see, she grips Shelmek by the throat and lifts her into the air.
言われるまでもありません。
Igloo's voice is ice cold. Her usual air of elegance has vanished entirely by now.
たとえオレク様にお嬢様を裏切る意志がなくともお嬢様をお守りするのは私です。
そうだよね。
Bruh. Shelmek smacks Igloo's wrist in surrender. When Igloo releases her, she drops to the floor.
だから一緒に楽園計画を完遂させることがジラードが返り咲く唯一のチャンスってわけ。オルフェルーネは頭が良くて勤勉で夢が大きいし何より超可愛い。だからこそあの子は計画に必要不可欠なんだよ。あんたが何百回私を殺したってそれは変わらない。
How many lives do you even have anyway?
それにもともとこれはあの子の研究だしね。どうあがいても無関係ではいられない。
Bruh, they're gonna rope her into the cult. Uh-oh.
計画のためにも私があの子を傷つけるわけない。
計画の成就はお嬢様の宿願です。それについて反論するつもりはありません。ただお嬢様は純粋な科学者であられます。彼女の研究はあなた方の道具ではありません。
Perhaps swayed by Schlag's words, Igloo's hostility eases slightly. When it comes to Lumi, she yields not an inch. Schlag rubs her throat. Rising onto her toes, she peers up at Igloo with an ominous gleam in her eyes.
そうだね。私なんかと違ってオルフェルーネはいい子だから。でも考えたことある？楽園計画が実現すればジラードは新たな高みに到達してオルフェルーネも世界から注目される。そうなったらあの子の体に隠された秘密も知られちゃうかもね。
Little secrets. Igloo's gaze turns icy once more at those words. Her posture remains flawless, only the tension in her jaw betrays the slightest ripple of emotion.
その無礼な発言の趣旨がわかりません。はっきり言われたらいかがですか？
私は事実を言っただけ。真相は隠されるから面白いんだ。
That's not how candy works, but okay. Schlag prances right up to Igloo, looking up at this most powerful third-gen doll with a smile both innocent and dangerous.
この世にバレない秘密なんてない。パラデウスの知ってることは他の誰かにもいずれ知られる。
Uh-oh.
気をつけてね。
I think it's funny that it's spelled out here, but all she said was you'd better watch out.
それは脅迫と捉えてもよろしいですか？
Igloo's voice remains courteous, but her tone is chilling. Even the air in the laboratory seems to freeze under her words.
脅迫？そんなことしないって。
She waves her hands exaggeratedly, then suddenly grows somber. She presses a finger lightly against her lips, her eyes flashing sharply.
これはただの忠告。私は楽園計画がうまくいけばそれでいいし、あんたはジラードグループを立て直せる。オルフェルーネは生涯。まあ、あの子の年でそういうのは早いけど、生涯を費やした夢が叶う。みんなウィンウィンのハッピーエンド。その後起こることに目をつむればね。
I'll show you risks. Igloo takes a slow, deep breath.
それについて対策は？
まあ大前提として楽園計画を完遂すること。あの子を守るためとか言って計画を中断するのは言語道断。今言ったリスクを回避する方法は簡単。あの子にスポットライトを当てなきゃいい。あとは O43 をできるだけ早く連れてきてくれたら私一人だけで楽園計画を進められるかもよ。
So that's how Helena ties into this. They actually need her to complete the project. Let's not give her. He flashes a radiant smile again, a shrewd glint dancing in her eyes.
そうすればお嬢様を危険なことに関わらせなくても済むじゃん。同じ科学者としてそんなことをするのは良心が痛むけど。
She shrugs dramatically and spreads her hands.
協力相手の気持ちの方が大事だからね。
そんなことをしてあなたに何のメリットがあるというのですか？
あんたとの友情。
Bruh. You do it for the love of the game.
それに秘密を知る人間は少ない方がいい。
She winks playfully.
でもそれもあんたの鬼ごっこの腕次第だけどね。
My cat used to be the greatest mouse hunter ever. But then, now she can't go outside independently due to all the construction around, and they deforested the area anyway. But at least, since I've known her, she has caught me in the 3-figure range of rodents. So, if she didn't already disrupt the local ecosystem, the construction certainly did. She sends the ball back to Igloo's court and looks at her expectantly, waiting for an answer. Igloo's gaze flickers. In the end, she says nothing. Eyes turn toward Alvin inside the specialized hibernation capsule. Through the observation window, Alva can be seen writhing in agony with a hallucination. Igloo knows Shalvek is right. No matter what, capturing Voimistina, retrieving 043, and completing the mission she was given from the start remain her top priority. As for Shalvek, there will be time to settle the score later. Hibernation capsule's interior lights flash incessantly, alarms echoing as Alva's neural data register extreme instability.
反逆の干渉がなければ簡単なはずです
Igloo gently rests her hand on the capsule's control panel and connects her own port to it. A moment later, she turns back to Shalvek and inclines her head slightly.
王43は連れ戻します。その代わり一つだけ条件があります。必ず約束をお守りください。
Inside the capsule, Alva's body convulses violently, as if enduring unimaginable pain that intensifies further due to Igloo's connection. Igloo smooths the hem of her suit and walks towards the exit, her footsteps still calm and measured.
おやおや
Shalvek watches Igloo's receding back, then turns to Alva writhing in the capsule, her expression peculiar.
悪く思わないでね。本当はもっと優しくしてあげたかったんだから。
Shit. She sighs and beams brightly again. Hopping back to her seat, she picks up a fresh cup of coffee and gazes up at the hibernation capsule as though watching a performance.
どうせ死ぬ運命なんだし、せいぜいデータを貢献してよ。アルバ
No! They're killing Alva! I can't believe they've done this. Shit. Well, when we return to the game, I'm gonna see if I can't do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 story nodes. Whew, that's a lot of story nodes. But until then, I have a mail. Oh, a survey. We'll do the survey next time. I don't feel like doing the survey right now because we are heading out. I streamed for 3 hours. Holy crap. I normally don't stream this long. Holy moly. Long stream. I said it would be long, but it's fine. With online. Who else can we raid? Huh. Is Resta's on again. We raided her last time. I wasn't expecting to be streaming twice in a row. Thank you for coming to Girls Frontline. I will be streaming again this weekend. Brain fart, Lamau. I am. Who are you subjecting to the worst joke? We're about to find out. Let's see. Let's see. Not too many people are on. Oh, Nezumi is on. I haven't rated him in a very hot minute. He is currently reading. We just got done reading. So perhaps this will be fine. So why don't we raid? How many O's is that? Nez O me. Here we go. We get to raid. He is an amateur mahjong player. He also does collab games with others and occasionally streams. But we're gonna say hi. We get to subject him to the worst joke ever. But right now he's reading. I don't know what he's reading. I'm sure we'll find out when we raid. Until then, stay tuned to the Discord for when I go live. I'll mention in the Discord when I plan on going live. I genuinely don't know when I'm gonna stream, either tomorrow or Sunday. But I can't stream on Monday, and I really want to get the event out of the way while I still can. I have a lot in my life happening. Holy crap, I need some rest. Thank you so much for coming to the QUASO event. Let's say hi to Nezumi. And I will catch you all this weekend, and if I don't, then I'll catch you all on Wednesday for some Mario. I keep pronouncing it that way. Fuck it. It's fine.